We are in studio today with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Ramsey White.
Yo, 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 what up? I'm hearing a little echo. Turn the audio off.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what that was. Like, what is that?
Push a couple buttons, bruh.
Getting a little late start here, but after a big show, we had to come back and set everything up and get everything moving. But I'm excited to be here with Ramsey today. We got a lot to talk about. We had a lot of exciting stuff happen in 2025 and a lot of exciting stuff coming in 2026.
Yeah, for sure, man. At the end of the year, it's like all the events kind of become a blur. And it's like when I look back, it's like, yo, some of these things feel like they just happened yesterday. Yeah, looking at like seeing like what the first event from Orlando was last year. It's like, this was a year ago.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I kind of have the opposite thing happens to me. Like, I see something, I'm like, that was just this year. I feel like everything is like, we're running. And, when I looked back, for instance, last year, the first event of the year, we had an amazing event to kick off 2026. If you guys weren't there, you missed out. I'm telling you, it ranks in like my top 10 for sure, maybe even top 5 events, definitely top 3 for amateur, no doubt. But I looked back at 2025 and I was like, man, the first event of 2025 was fire.
Yeah. When I was going back looking at like some of the guys that were fighting on that card, it was like, yo, first event of last year was bangering. I made a little list. It was like Harvey Ridings, Seven Perkins, Kenyon Smith, Brian Santiago, Machida Brothers. Like Orlando gets it cracking first of the year.
Yeah, it was a great event. Like you said, we had all those guys fighting. A couple of the potential, knockouts of the year happened that night. Sean Forbes got a nasty knockout. Seven Perkins got a nasty knockout. We're going to talk about those later in the show. We got really cool highlight videos we're going to show you guys of all the knockouts of the year, all the submissions of the year, all of the fights of the year, you name it, comebacks of the year. But it's crazy to kick off 2026. I think we had a potential for fight of the year. If there's an amateur fight, if there's a pro fight that beats the fight of the year in Orlando, man, I will be shocked. For me, it was the craziest fight I've seen in a long time. We'll get to that as well. But yeah, looking back at that 2025 first card of the year, I will say one thing though, the fans and the energy for this event in 2026, the first event of the year, hands down, amazing. I do not think that the 2025 event compares to the energy that we had in the first one for this year.
Yeah, prove us wrong. You fans show up in all these different cities. I know Miles and Ben are always going back and forth about Orlando versus South Florida. But to kick off the year, man, Orlando's wearing the crown.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard crown to move too. Like I said, the energy and the fans, and it was really cool because we didn't have a lot of our staple gyms with us for this event. The Jungle had nobody fighting. AMAA, Eric Gianni over there in East Orlando didn't have anybody fighting. And then Fusion had a couple, 2 guys fighting, but a lot of the squad went to Vegas to support Charles Johnson in his fight. So, there wasn't those are our 3 staple camps, and there really weren't involved. And we had a lot of new camps involved, like Tampa Muay Thai. We had Gracie Baja Kasimi. And man, these fans really showed up and showed out, and they loved it. I got so many messages and so much love from these. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this Saturday. We go to Fort Lauderdale. I think we have an amazing card on tap. Currently have 17 fights. You know how it is on fight week. We'll probably lose 2 or 3, but a lot of really good fighters on this card as well, including Lance Evans defending his title. He was one of the contenders for comeback of the year. He fought Alex Cunningham to end 2025, and he's right back at it in 2026 to defend the title. And he's got a tough challenge ahead of him and Joel Grove. So I'm excited to see what these fights are going to bring.
You're going to make sure you're in the cage to put the belt on the winner for that bout.
Ramsey remembers. Lance was very upset I was not there to put the belt on him. I was running around like a madman like usual, But, see, the memory we got over here, see, people give me shit. They want to talk to me about UFC fighters and UFC fights and this and that. I did watch the fights last night. I do have something to say about those. But at the end of the day, no, I don't know who I can't name 5 people in the top 5 for probably any weight class. But I can tell you about every Combat Night fighter, every Combat Night fight, every Combat Night event in great detail. I can tell you what happens, what didn't happen. I'm a huge fan of all the athletes that fight with us at Combat Night. And I want to put them on the highest pedestal Obviously I want to see you get to the UFC. And when you get there, I'll watch all your fights. But, my goal is to be the most knowledgeable when it comes to combat night fighters. And I want to give a little shout out. I know he's probably not watching right now, but he will watch this later, to Rod Aljameh. Rod down there in South Florida. He's fighting this week in Broward. And I believe he's our biggest fan. I mean, someone have to prove me wrong, but this man knows so much about combat night. He did not know who was the first person to win belts in 2 different divisions, but he's a very big MMA fan. Do you know who was the first person to win belts in 2 different divisions in the UFC?
Oh, in the UFC?
Yeah, in the UFC.
Was it BJ Penn?
Very, very close. Very, very close. Randy Couture.
Okay.
But BJ Penn was the second one. But yeah, so we always go back and forth jabbing each other about, who knows more, who knows that or whatever. But I give it a ride, man. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to the combat night fighters and MMA in general. He's a student of the game, and I can't wait to see him come back and fight. He's got a tough challenge ahead of him this Saturday in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, someone that I know is just a huge fan of our stuff as well as Luis Perez.
Mm-hmm.
And he's super faithful to the cause on all platforms.
Yeah.
I don't know how that compares in terms of like knowledge of fighters and outcomes, circumstances, but I know that he's certainly another one of the big fans.
Yeah, he shows us a lot of love on social media, all the platforms, commenting. Yeah, I love he has a way of getting under people's skin like no other, and I love it. He reminds me a lot of Lou Vasquez. He's like a new school Lou Vasquez.
young Lou.
Shout out to Bebo. He's another one of our OGs over here. Got a lot of love for us. We got a lot of love for him. And hopefully this year we got something we can get him in the mix. We haven't talked to him about yet, but we got a lot of ideas and things that are happening that we want to get into. One of the things I want to mention, going into 2026, we are officially with a streaming company called Spectation Sports. So all of our professional events will be streamed live on Spectation Sports. It's a subscription-based platform, and they have multiple good MMA promotions that they have in the mix over there. The guys over at Cage Titans stream on there. We've had guys like Joe Pennefield go and fight there. Woman fighter Ari Melendez. So they put on a good show up there in the Northeast. And but Spectation, I believe we are their first Florida promotion. Did a lot of back and forth and figured out a deal that made sense for the both of us. And I'm excited to see where the relationship goes. But guys, if you want to watch the Tallahassee card, it will not be on pay-per-view. We will be streaming live on Spectation Sports. And one price gets you all their events every month. You can watch live MMA. So if you're a big MMA fan, Combat Night just got on Spectation Sports. So hopefully we'll introduce you to some new promotions as well. And make sure you get on there and subscribe.
Yeah, our amateur events will still be available in the conventional way, but Spectation Sports is the new platform for our pro shows. And on the technical side of advancement, we're hoping to bring you guys some new looks through the production as well, and make those broadcasts even more entertaining. So
yeah, we have upgraded our system. Ramsey has been in the lab quite literally, probably 8-10 hours a day, if not more on some days, adding to our production that we're going to have on the day of the event. Instant replay will be different. You want to tell about some of the things you think are going to be different?
Yeah, just trying to add some of the bells and whistles that you're accustomed to seeing on national broadcasts, to just punch up that viewing experience for you guys, and so you don't see a big difference between the way we present and the way the big time shows present, because we consider ourselves big time. So
I would say that I used to always say we're the number one regional promotion in the country, which is still true. If you go look at the numbers on YouTube, go look at the numbers on Instagram, go look at the numbers on you name the platform, Facebook. We crush everybody else, especially when it comes to views. We get about 100 million views across all platforms. This is on average. Like, this isn't just like a the best we ever had. Like, the best we ever had, we've been like 250 million views. Just for reference, that's a quarter billion. It's a quarter billion.
Yeah.
So we're crushing it. But I'm getting rid of the word regional. Like, I want to stop saying the best regional show. I think we're the best show outside of the UFC in the country, and I put that to PFL. Obviously, they got more money, they can do bigger bells and whistles, but when it comes to the the fan experience, when it comes to the event, all the fighters experience, the way things are just done, and
The
then
number of shows.
and then the views on social media, and the entertainment value we bring. Man, I mean, honestly, I love One Championship. They're up there too, but in the country, in the US, it's definitely the UFC's number one. No one's dethroning that king. And then I think across the world, One Championship is, I think they're right there with the UFC. Their content is amazing. I love the small glove Muay Thai fights. I kind of wish they would just focus on that. Like, get rid of the MMA stuff, get rid of the grappling stuff, because it seems like they might be struggling a little bit. And I would hate to see One Championship go away. So I would like to see them double down on what is successful and what makes them different than anybody else. Chatri did I think a horrible job at trying to say that they're better than the UFC and trying to fight that battle. It's like, yo, just the fact that you have to mention them tells everybody that you're not.
Mm-hmm. I think small glove Muay Thai is some of the most entertaining fighting that there is, and that's kind of a little niche that they carved out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've done some of that as well, and they're always just incredible fights.
Bangers.
That's yeah, I agree, man. If they doubled down on that and presented that, I think that would have some crossover appeal to our audience, the US audience.
Yeah, and shout out to John Wayne Parr. That was actually his invention. He came up with the small glove Muay Thai. So I got a lot of love for John Wayne Parr. He's one of my favorite OGs in the game. I got the honor of fighting the same night he fought Nicky Holtzkin. We fought on a card together. It was like three cards in one night. They aired them all three separately, but everyone was, we got to, be around Nicky Holtzkin and John Wayne. I got to have lunch with John Wayne Parr. What a legend. What a fucking legend. But yeah, that was his idea, that the small glove Muay Thai. But yeah, man, One Championship, double down on the small glove Muay Thai, double down on what's working for you. Stop trying to compete with the UFC, be different, be your own thing, and just be in a whole different hemisphere. I mean, you are literally, so do something different. What else, man? What else?
Well, I was thinking, like as the year progresses and we start to have our shows all over the state, I saw a breakdown that was really good. And I mentioned it before. It might have been during a broadcast or something, but it was kind of explaining how the UFC's events are kind of categorized and how they set them up. So it's like fight nights are for this tier of competitor and looking to make, break into a ranked area, and then the numbered cards are for championships, and so I see a little bit of similarity with us with regards to like our amateur shows building up to our pro shows, and then our pro shows have the am side of it, and so it's like on our pro am shows you'll see our top tier amateurs that are fighting for, not that they fight for belts on the amateur only shows as well, but we try to like really showcase them on that bigger platform that we know pro fights are going to be on. And so we have kind of like that full farm system of developing guys, and in that thought process it's like, who are some of the guys in your mind that have shown fantastic starts on just like the amateur side, and who are some of the guys that are transitioning to like the pro am level appearances?
This past year we saw a lot of those guys do that, like Canyon Smith. We saw Seven Perkins, and things change because our goal at Combat Night is really to have the athletes. I want them to be ready for the UFC. If your goal is the UFC, that's my goal too. I want to help you get there. I'm a fan of all of you guys, and people do balk at, like, they'll say things like, "Oh, Mitchell shows favoritism." No, I show love to the guys that are showing love to us. I show love to the guys that are doing everything right and that are pushing to be, the best that they can be in all realms. If they show up and do everything they're supposed to do, if they are entertaining, if they are, getting on social media, if they're not bitching or crying about, stupid things like that, obviously that's any business owner is always going to gravitate toward the people that are shining the light on themselves. Like, hey man, they're shining the light on them. If you're boring, if you're not improving, if you're not doing the things, then like, man, how you want me to shine a light on you whenever you're going and hiding in the corner? Like, it's just not possible. But a big one for me was Seven Perkins. And because when we do the pro events, so we have the amateur events, he kicked off the year. And he was an amateur with us as a teenager. So it's been awesome watching his growth over the years. He traveled the state. He did the right things as an amateur. That's the thing, is like, I also want to see that guys are doing the right thing. It's like, if I'm here for advice, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, ask me anything. I've done it all. I have literally trained and fought. I fought at the highest level. I fought in Bellator. I fought in one championship. I've cornered multiple people in the UFC. I've been around and involved in camps for people fighting in the UFC. I've been involved in camps for people fighting for the UFC belt, the championship. So I've seen it all. I trained multiple times with TJ Dillashaw, and a couple of his fights was involved in his camp as he was getting ready to fight for the belts and defend his belt. So I have this huge picture that I get to see that a lot of guys don't get to see. You know, if you're just training at your gym, you don't do any cross training, you don't travel, and you only fight in your hometown, like you're seeing through a pinhole. You know, you've really got blinders on. So you're going to need to get some advice and some help for somebody else. Maybe that's not me, but maybe it's someone else at your gym. So you should be talking to those people. But anyways, whenever I see guys that are seeking me out and wanting to get that extra help, or that are doing the right things like Seven Perkins, I want to give them more attention. I want to help them out more. I want to see them succeed because I see they really want it. Seven fought for us at the Beecham, and he traveled to Tallahassee and fought in Tallahassee.
Mhm.
He traveled to New York and fought in New York. He's understanding what it likes to get his road legs under him. You know, I got to find a sauna in a different town. I got to find food in a different town. My hometown's not cheering for me now. So he's putting himself in these uncomfortable situations as an amateur that he knows he will experience as a pro. It's inevitable. Guys, combat night is not the end of the road. So eventually you're going to have to go fight not in Bellator, in PFL, in the UFC, somewhere else. And you don't want your first time to be fighting, you know, in the UFC to be also the first time you're fighting and traveling. You know, you get the benefit of doing that with us. You can go and fight in South Florida. You can go fight in Tallahassee. But if you don't ever do that, you don't ever try to do that. Like I said, you don't want the first time that you travel to be in the UFC.
But it's not likely to be.
Yeah.
The first time you travel will be in the UFC. You're gonna, in all likelihood, you're gonna have to fight somewhere, you know, on the national level.
Yeah,
away from home.
Well, you're gonna have to, at least with us, if you want to stay active, and there's another thing too, you got to be active. You know, the UFC is not picking up guys that are fighting once a year or twice a year. They want guys that are fighting 3 and 4 times a year, that are ready when they call and say, hey, you want to come fight? Yes, I'm ready. That's what they want. So realistically, even if you want to get there through us and you don't want to get away from you don't get away from combat night, you're going to have to go to Tallahassee. You're going to have to go to South Florida and get in those fights, because we only do, 2 pro fights a year in Orlando. So just do the math. If you're 24 years old and you fight just in Orlando, and you do every pro event when you have here, you're not injured, you're healthy, and it works out for your schedule, it's going to take you 4 to 5 years to get enough fights to get to the UFC. Now you're 29 or 30 years old, bro. You wasted your youth. I mean, you look at the UFC picture right now, there's guys that are getting in at 17 and 18 years old. There's multiple guys in that are 20 and 21 years old. We got guys like Seven Perkins who are super young. He did it right. And if you're coming into the game at 23 or 24 years old, bro, you're already behind by 10 years. Seven Perkins started when he was, I think before he was even a teen. So you were so behind in the game, you have got to run it out. You have got to stay active. You have got to just go. So yeah, you're going to have to travel when you're going to fight, and put yourself in uncomfortable situations if you want to make it. So yeah, I keep harping on Seven Perkins, but in my brain, in my heart, like, he did it right. He took tough fights. He took losses. He's not undefeated starting his pro career, but he knows how it feels to lose. He knows how it feels to fix holes in his game and stuff. But if you're just taking easy fights and you're not doing the right things, and you're looking for, you shouldn't be picky and choosy with your amateur career. Like, especially once you get to 2-0 or 3-0, you should be fighting anyone that gets thrown your way. Not, oh, he's a D1 wrestler. Like, oh, guess what? In the UFC, everyone's a D1 wrestler. Oh, he's got 10 kickboxing fights. Oh, okay. In the UFC, people got 100 kickboxing fights. You think anyone turned down Alex Pereira when he was a 4-0 pro athlete because he had a bunch of kickboxing fights? No. You got to fight those guys. You know? So I'm big on Seven Perkins, guys. If you want to know someone you should emulate or a career path you should follow, I think Seven is that guy. I think he really did it right. Joe Gonzalez is another one, to speak about these young guys. Joe Gonzalez took 20 amateur fights as a teenager, as a young kid. He's pro as well now too. So yeah, there's, guys, if you're 24, 25, just getting into the sport, or if you're an amateur right now, you're 24, 25, or maybe even 27 or 28, these young guns are coming for you, man. So if you want to make it, if you really want to make it to the next level, you better be active. You better stay active, fight as often as you can. I hear guys like, oh, I can't fight on that date because we're going on a cruise. Oh, I can't fight on that date because yeah, I plan to go out of state. My girlfriend's cat died. We're gonna bury it in Washington. Like, bro, what are you talking about right now? Your pro career. I always tell guys this. And like Brandy knows it. Like when me and Brandy got together very early on, I told Brandy, I said, hey, number one priority is MMA. That's it right here. Number one priority is being a fighter. You're number two. It is what it is. I'm number one. And that's the way it should be. If you want to be a fighter, you got to put yourself first, not vacations, not your girlfriend, not your mom. It is you got to be number one. You have to put yourself first. And if you don't, you're going to have a really hard time making it a sport, because there's 1,000 guys that are putting themselves first. And there's 1,000 guys that put themselves first and still didn't make it.
I think the scope of the professionalism that you have to recognize is, like, obviously performance is the priority in terms of fighting and, doing well there, but there are different things, different boxes you have to check. And speaking to, talking about guys you like to deal with, it's like, we like guys that get their medicals in on time. We like guys that submit their information sheets on time. We like guys that show up on time. So that's kind of like the professional behavior side of the fighting that's not related to fighting itself. Also spills over into like developing yourself on social media and, building a fan base and learning to get sponsors. It's like, these are things that you have to do. Yep. It's if you're going to make it to the next level, you can't just only think like, oh, I fight, that's it, I don't worry about that. It's like, there is a tier that you can get to where you can worry about that less, but it's not at the beginning.
It's definitely not.
And so, I think that you have constantly been like a resource for guys that are willing to learn these things, because I think the kind of the infrastructure that we have at Combat Night plays into teaching these guys these things and getting them in a lot of ways holding their hand through these processes if they'll let us. So I think in terms of just our platform and stuff, it's tailored to developing guys from novice to a high level of experience. And with any sport, if you're going to be a professional, speaking to your comment about starting late, football and basketball, you can start playing these sports when you're 8, 9, 10 years old. And so you can get 10 years in by the time you're 18 or 19 and, be looking at the professional ranks at a younger age. The way that some things are developing in Florida, at least, it's like, you can be doing wrestling. There's high school for that. So you can be building that base there. But now with like the IKF and the PKB, there's other outlets where you can start to develop those skills earlier, so that it's not like, well, where can I do MMA when I'm 13 years old? It's like, yeah, there's not really someplace you can do that, but there is something that is a part of MMA that you can do whenever you're 13 or 14 years old that will contribute to that process of like building up those skills, so they're on par whenever you get to, 18, 19, 20. So you're not as far behind the 8 ball. Kurt Decker is an example of that. Just hit 18. He's had some tough kickboxing fights with us prior to turning 18. As soon as he turned 18, he's ready to take his first amateur bout. And debuted here in Orlando at our first show of the year and put on a show.
Yeah. And, I will say this, had Kurt not had the experience of competition prior to that fight, he probably would get finished in the first round. I'm just saying it, guys. Kurt Decker, he did the PKB multiple times. I'm sure he did some grappling tournaments with Ben. But Ben Stark is raising that kid up right. He's doing the right things with Kurt Decker. He's another one, I think, in 2 years, we'll be talking about him like we're talking about Seven Perkins, we're talking about Joe Gonzalez. But he's doing the right things. And if you've never competed in high school, if you didn't wrestle in high school, you didn't do any competition, especially where you're like the main focus and everyone's watching you in that moment, it's different than playing football. You miss a block, no one maybe even realized it. But in MMA, you miss a parry and your head's getting rocked. It's a completely different. If in jiu-jitsu, you miss a detail and you're getting choked out. So, Kurt shoots in early, takedown. Gio takes his back, puts you in a rear naked choke. If you've never put yourself in that situation where the whole world's watching you and you're about to get submitted or you're in a bad position, you might freeze up, you might choke, and boom, you lost, that quick. But he was calm under pressure because he's done the IKFs and the PKBs with Rich Grindle. I love the PKBs. I think everyone should be doing it because doing jiu-jitsu tournaments is one thing, but you really find out what you're made of when you're getting punched. Doesn't matter if it's going for a knockout or not going for a knockout. You really find out what you're made of when you're getting punched, and you really have to calm your nerves and you really have to lock in. And I think that was a big factor in Kurt's success in his debut. He fought a guy with like 5 fights, and he came out victorious with a first round nasty little ninja choke. Ninja choke or no arm guillotine. I forget which one it was, but it was nasty. It was a slick submission. And I just think a lot of guys that didn't have the competition experience wouldn't have pulled that off. He also has a little bit of an it factor to him. I think Kurt's got it. I think if he can continue to develop that, I think he'll end up making it one day. But yeah, our goal is that I encourage guys to do the PKB. Man, go try one. They're like $60-$70. You got to be willing to invest in your career. I mean, that's a huge one. All these other athletes in every other sport, guys are investing hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes, but definitely thousands of dollars into their career to make it, whether it's the equipment, whether it's the competitions, whatever it is, they're investing a ton of money. And MMA, it's also MMA's got a low entry point.
Yeah.
Like you can get in it still, and that's going to change, guys. Mark my words, in 10, 15 years, the 25-year-old that decides to start doing MMA won't make it to the UFC. It'll be the Rudy story. Like that'll be Rudy in 15, 20 years. Right now you can still do that, but you're seeing these younger guys like Kurt Decker, like Seven Perkins, like Joe Gonzalez that are coming up in the sport. And there's 1,000 of them right now. There's the parents, the guys, I can't think of someone off the top of my head, but that's going to have Ian Gary. You watch his kid. Ian Gary's kid's already hitting the bag and grappling and wrestling. In 15 years, that kid's going to be 18. What do you think? Do you think you stand a chance against the guy that was born and raised into the sport? This is like, no, not a chance. You know what I mean? You merely adopted MMA. This guy was born in MMA. So
it's like the guys from the stands. Yeah, they're doing it, from the time they're 4, 5, 6 years old. Yeah. And so when they're 17, 18, 19, they're otherworldly.
Yep. So, I mean, right now we're in an awesome spot. We're getting to be a part of the growth of MMA. And, you can jump in whenever you're 25 years old and still make it to the UFC. But that's going to change. That's going to change before you know it. So take advantage of that while you can. And yeah, man, that's, our goal at you kind of started this with like, preparing them to be professionals. But like, that's why we sign posters. That's why at weigh-ins you're there for, 2-3 hours. At the UFC, ask anyone who's made to the UFC. Talk to them about the experience they have for weigh-ins and for the whole process. It's a whole that you got like an itinerary, like for the week, not just for the day, but for the week. So if you can't handle, and we get you weighed in really quick at combat night. Like no other promotion does that the way we do it. I go to bat for you guys with the state and like, when you show up, we need guys on scales. Let's do early weigh-ins. We're trying to make sure you guys are taken care of and have plenty of time to rehydrate. But in the UFC, it's a whole week. You get there and your whole week's planned out. When you get to go to the sauna, when you get to eat food, like everything is just planned out for you. So if you can't handle the structure of a day of weigh-ins and like locking in and signing posters and doing these little things, and they're doing media and photo shoots on Wednesday before the fight, cutting weight, miserable. They're having to put on gloves and shadow box and do all these things. You don't have to do any of that with it. You just got to sign some posters. And usually it's after you made weight. So if that's too much for you, UFC is probably too much for you. But that's what I mean about guys that I want to get behind. Not just myself, but the promotion it's the guys that are doing everything right. And that doesn't, now I want to say this too. If you're a cop or a firefighter or you're a lawyer or a doctor and you just want to get in there and do it one time, I love that. You know what I mean? Those are actually the best people to work with. They're like the most professional and the easiest. They understand processes because in their job and their line of works, they have all these things they have to do. But I love it when people just have a bucket list and they just want to check off after the fight. I did it because you have become part of the 1%, maybe even less than 1%, probably less than 1% of the world whenever you get inside that cage. So I'm going to get behind those guys too. But, we're also going to try to put you against someone else who's doing that. I'm not going to put the guy who just wants to say he fought once against Seven Perkins. That'd be wrong.
Yeah.
So we want to provide experiences for everybody. The only people we don't want to provide experiences for are the unprofessional people who just don't, who are waste of space. I don't care for those people. But if you're a good person and you want to make something, whether it's just make a couple extra bucks or just have fun and see where it goes, like, yeah, for sure. Those people I want to get behind. I want to get behind the people who are who, man, they enjoy the process. They want to be a part of it with us, not be a headache.
And I think, it's a constant process for us as we continuously try to expand, that. So it's like, yeah, you might not have to be shadow boxing and stuff while you're taking photos, or, pre-fight videos now. That doesn't mean it's not something that we want to do, in the future. So I think in our growth, goals, it incorporates improving across all levels and making it more and more and more, a big deal, just like the big show.
No, 100%. We will get there, and I would love to get to a point to where the guy who maybe doesn't have the skills or the aspirations or the talent or whatever you want to say to get to the UFC can find a home with us and make a good little side hustle. You know what I mean? I want to get to the point where we're able to offer debuts 1,000 and 1,000 and title fights 10 and 10. I want to get there. So it's not that, and I think there's a space for that too. I think there's a huge opportunity there in that space to, I don't want to compete with the UFC. I mean, I want to be something different, and that's not knocking them or saying anything bad about them, but I want to be in our own space. I want to be in our own atmosphere. I don't want to, and I want to send guys to the UFC. Yeah. Hey, if you want to get there, let's get you there. I don't want to be the promotion that's tying people up in contracts and not letting them get to the UFC. I think that is the biggest mistake promotions make is thinking that they are just as good or they're going to be better than the UFC. It's like, nah, bruh, stay in your lane. Like, how many people have grown up looking at those 3 letters as the ultimate goal? We just had Kat Nelson, one of my training partners, get put through the ringer over taking an MMA fight. And I just hated to see it. It's like, man, she is very clear about where she wants to be. And for any promotion to want to hold that up, it's just kind of like, I mean, what are you doing? Like, you're actually making yourself look foolish. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look for you either to like hinder the athletes. This sport, the fans, in every sport, the fans are always going to be behind the athletes. So if you as a promotion or you as an organization don't put the athletes first, it's going to be very hard to be successful. And I think that's the reason why we found so much success, is because we do that. Not just in our actions, but in really in everything that we do. It's our motto. We're going to have a call tonight, and I'm going to remind everybody on the call, fighter's number one. When you have a hard time making a decision, ask yourself, is this putting the fighter first? That's always to like an extent, right? Like if the fighter's being ridiculous or being absurd, like, we're not going to do that. But as long as it makes sense, like fighter's got to be number one.
And another point to that is over the years, for Florida, Combat Night is a destination in terms of your fight trajectory. It's like there's a lot of other promotions that we've seen, come and go over the years, and we have developed ourselves into the number one promotion in Florida. That like just goes without saying. But so in terms of like level of competition and stuff, if you find yourself on like Combat Night's platform, then in terms of Florida, like you've made it, and you're going to be facing some real competition.
Yeah, we're the only professional promotion in Florida right now. The only. So there's been plenty that have come and gone in my time. I mean, probably 2 dozen. And there might be someone who comes down here and visits for a show or two, but there's no one doing shows like we're doing in Florida. And, when these shows come to visit, they're bringing people from their hometown to fight Florida people, where like in Florida, we're given, we don't also just put like 5 or 6 pro fights. We put 10 to 12 pro fights. We max it out every time. And 90% of those fighters are also from Florida, from Florida. So it's like, we're giving the most opportunity to Florida athletes. So I think that's really cool. Combate tucked tail and ran back to California. They couldn't hang out here in Florida. Eagle FC recently left. There's a lot of shows. Like I said, PFL will come visit. So there's shows that will come visit for a show or two. But we've really, I love the fact that we are the only Florida professional promotion. And that, again, like when you did your podcast with Miles, it really honestly was like almost an eye-opening podcast for me, because Miles was saying what a big deal it was for him to fight for our belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never even thought of it that way. I just never even looked at it that way. And it's still kind of hard to think about us as like, oh man, like we're a destination. And I don't know why that is, but it feels good to know that fighters look, I'll go out, I'll be in the UFC in Vegas, or I'll be across the world. I've been across the world, and someone will tell me, I'm going to fight for you one day. We were coming back from Japan, me and Caden, and this guy was in line. I don't know. I tried to find him after to like get his name and give him. I was going to hook him up with some merch, but we're in custom lines, and he's like 3 or 4 lines ahead of us. And he's like, "Oh, combat night," and I was like, he's like, "I'm gonna fight for you one day, man." And I was like, "Oh man, that's really cool." And Caden's like, "Dad, why does everyone do this? Because it happens a lot when we're out. But it's cool when it happens out of state or out of the country. And yeah, it kind of reminds me like, oh man, we're out there. And when I say we get 100 million views a month, it makes sense. That's 100 million people that are seeing us. So and then I always say like I'm recognizable because I have this giant beard. It's like a statement piece, right? Like, oh, it's the guy with the beard. I might not know my name, but they know this is the guy with the beard, or they know it's the combat night guy. So it's cool to
or
be
just
out there.
The Instagram guy.
Yeah. We get there with that too. But yeah, so more growth 2026. We got the Spectation deal going on. Gonna have some cool little extra stuff to add to the experience for the pay-per-view buyer. I had a pay-per-view buyer. I think I shared this story with you. Hit me up and was like, it was someone from Canyon's gym. Said, hey man, I came to my first combat night. I bought plenty of the pay-per-views, and I just have to say, like, oh my God, the experience was incredible. Like, I can't believe I hadn't been coming to your events. So it's really cool to see like he liked the pay-per-view enough to buy it multiple times. And then now that he finally came to an event, I don't know that he'll be buying a pay-per-view anymore. I think he'll be in the building from now on.
Hey, and that's fantastic. Pay-per-view is for growing our audience, and or subscribing to Spectation Sports is for growing our audience that's far away from Florida, that can't make it to events. But if you're in Florida and you can make it to an event, like you definitely should. And with regards to offering opportunities for guys that are in Florida, we bring guys also to Florida to take on our top guys. Sometimes there's guys that come from wherever. We brought guys from all over sometimes, because bringing guys that are internationally experienced here, and we've also began to spitball the idea of us going on the road and going further into the southeast to put on shows. And I really like the idea of bringing Florida guys someplace and then having shows back here, and bringing guys that maybe had been showcased in their state back down to us as a way to just continue to grow and build our audience and create more and more opportunities, and just increase our visibility across the country, not just in the southeast.
Yeah, I like that as well. It's gonna happen this year. I wanted it to happen last year. We decided to do bring the pro shows back to South Florida instead. Again,
which was amazing.
I think we're going to talk about that event too. In my opinion, that was the event of the year. I mean, it was the fighters we had on it, the shows they put on was incredible. We had Luis Hernandez, the Stash. We had the OG Roman Feraldo. Roman fought for us on like combat night number 2. So to have him come back after he had a great run in Bellator, and for him to come back in and get the KO, and his fans from Key West are always crazy. I love his fans. We had Asa Powell, which is just he's a phenom in the kickboxing world. So we had some really big names on that card and some really big fights. But yeah, we kind of had to choose. And I'll say this, like, fighters are number 1 for me. And when it comes to like markets or territories, Florida is always gonna be number 1. It doesn't matter where we go. We could go to Saudi Arabia. We could go to somewhere that's going to bring us a ton of money, millions of dollars. But Florida, guys, I promise you, will never leave Florida. Florida will never always be number 1. It'll always be home. And within Florida, I feel like Tallahassee is kind of that, that home base for us. I want to always have an event there. I want to always do something in Tallahassee. It's where we started. It's our roots. I'm big on loyalty. I'm really big on, like, even if they're not loyal to us, I don't care about the actions of other men. I care about like my morals are, and I want to show that loyalty to Florida. I want to show that loyalty to Tallahassee. So, yeah, no matter how big we get, like, Florida's always going to be my number 1 territory that I'm worried about. Like, I don't want to ever lose or forget where I came from. So Florida will always be home.
And you would know better than me in terms of how Florida stacks up against other states, just in terms of like MMA hotbed. And we just know Florida has just tons of amazing gyms, tons of like world champions. So there's no like shortage of talent in any way in Florida for that to just not be the case. I mean, maybe by some people's purview, Florida is, the home of some of the best fighters in the world, whether they're from here or they come here to train here. It's just like a hotbed.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I love the fact that a lot of guys won't know this, but when we started Combat Night, there was like hardly anybody from Florida that was in the UFC. Like from Florida, like genuinely from Florida. You know, I think Ben Saunders might have been the main one. Jim Allers, Dean Thomas, old, you know, a couple old school guys. But as far as like a new crop coming up, or people now, like a lot of people were coming in from out of the country and out of the state to American top team Coconut Creek. They were Black Zillions was a thing. But there wasn't really like a system here in Florida building up the athletes or getting the athletes there. Most of the guys who were in the UFC were from other places. And it's been so awesome to watch us grow this. And now we have multiple guys. Some of them fought a couple times as an amateur, like Landon Quinones down south, Elvin Espinoza. You know, there's some guys who maybe just spent a couple of fights with us, 2 or 3, 4. And then there's some guys who did their whole career with us, like Val Woodburn that made it, or Lucas Alexander. You know, there's the C, and then like again, we already talked about the Seven Perkins, the Joe Gonzalez, the Kurt Deckers, but there's a whole bunch of guys that are coming up in the sport right now that it's just hard. I mean, you have to be active, and there's not a big local scene to help you be active, and you have to travel out of state all the time. It gets expensive and it's hard to do. And plus, not many promotions want to bring people in from out of state because you're not selling tickets. You're just an expense. So they want to bring you in to fight a ticket seller. And a lot of promotions don't want to get their ticket sellers beat up. I will say we did do that for the first 50 events. We were like, oh, we got to protect the ticket sellers. And then somewhere along the line, we just realized like, yo, protecting these guys and giving them easy fights doesn't help them grow or get better or improve their skills. In fact, it's hindering them. So we stopped worrying about giving guys easy fights or the right fights. And we just started worrying about giving guys the right fights to build their careers and get them better. And if they lose, they lose. If someone doesn't want to come buy a ticket because their favorite fighter lost, whatever. Like we don't care about that ticket buyer. And we started worrying about building our brand instead of trying to take care of ticket fighters and making sure they didn't get beat up. So now it's like every man for himself. But it's been cool to watch the growth of Florida MMA. And there was a guy hit me up on Instagram. And he said, he asked me about what he wanted to watch a fight or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, man. It's from Miramar, from down south. And he said, I sent him the pay-per-view where you could buy the pay-per-view for January 24th. And he said, man, I really love what you're doing over at Combat Night. And this guy's an OG. He's been in the game forever. And he said, yeah, man. I wrote back, I said, yeah, man, I'm just trying to help grow the sport. You know, I love what I'm doing for a living or whatever. And he goes, trying. He said, brother, you're doing. And like goosebumps. Like, hell yeah. Cause this is an OG. Like he's been in the game for a long time. And for him to say it, it's like, all right, yeah, we're doing something right. I really, really love to hear that from him. But let's get into these, let's get into 2025. Let's talk about some of these events we had, because we had a lot of really good ones. I'm
gonna say one thing. I was just double checking. It's like we have our 200th event coming up by my count. That's our next Orlando Kissimmee Pro show is going to be number 200.
Yes.
So super excited about that. And I don't know exactly what all you got cooking for you know, that fight card, but I can only imagine it's fantastic. I like to see some of our some unification of some like top dogs from different cities. I think that would be really cool if we could you know, match up top guys from Jacksonville against top guys from South Florida. There's not often, and I mean on the amateur side, there's not often enough bleed over in between those regions. And so we might have a guy that's, you know, a 155 champ in the northern part of Florida, and we also have someone from the south. And so I'd like to see us like bring those together. And what? 28.
No, I'll be August 8th.
Orlando
for the 200th.
No, March 28th.
March 28th falls on the 200th.
Yes.
You positive about that?
That's what I was just checking.
All right, maybe. I was doing some math, and my math was saying sometime in August, but
no, I got this. Tallahassee is 199.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go redo some numbers then and see what's going on. Yeah, no, I think the Orlando cards tend to be pretty much on a little lone island as well, so it's easier to kind of bring guys from all the different places because we don't have We do 2 Tallahassees a year, and Tallahassee after February 14th, they won't get another card till August, and then Jacksonville doesn't have a card till May. So March 28th is a good card where we can really pull guys in from other places and get them on one card. Man, I got to go back and look.
So yeah, so that's kind of a invitation and challenge issued to you guys, like to the fighters. It's like, show up. This is the one to rule them all.
That's a very big one. It's a really, really big one. Common Night 100 was a big deal. And Common Night 200 is just even a bigger deal. It's really dope to see, man, just to think we got the 200. I remember when
it was 50.
That was a huge deal to us.
Yeah.
50. Now we done quadrupled, I remember, it's so funny. I always tell guys, a lot of these promotions are doing 3 shows a year. They're doing 4 shows a year. It's going to take you just like a fighter. If you're only fighting once a year, it's going to take you 5 years, 6 years to get comfortable. But if you're doing 3 and 4 fights a year, man, 2 years in, you're comfy. And that's the same thing with us. Like, we're doing 16 and a lot of these fight cards, even though it says, it's 1 event on paper, it's 2. We don't count it. We don't do that. But really we're having 25 events a year because the Pro-Am cards are 2 separate events. A lot of promotions would charge you 2 separate prices for those cards. We're giving you 15 to 18 amateur fights and 10 to 12 pro fights. That is 2 full events that you get for the price of 1. And events have come here and done that. And they've literally kicked everybody out after the amateur card, charge them a ticket to come back in for the pro card. We don't do that at Combat Night. And it's man, it's just crazy to think that we have gotten to where we've gotten. And if that's why we can crush these other promotions, because it's a fine tuned machine now. You know what I mean? Like, we got it all dialed in, and we're doing so many events a year that by event, I would say it took us to like event number 60, 70, where I really felt like, okay, yeah, we're cooking. Now it's just little adjustments. But if you're a promotion doing 3, 4 shows a year, good luck. Like, it's going to take you forever to figure it out. You're going to be 6, 7 years in, and most people quit. Most people give up. So to be where we are right now, and just now we're making these little fine-tuned adjustments. Like, I remember freaking out about the stupidest stuff. Like, oh, how are we going to get to the cage, or how are we going to do this, or how are we going to get fight cards printed, or just the stupidest things we used to have to worry about. And now we're talking about like adding, a new instant slow-mo replay, and like, we got to get this dialed in. And we're not worried about the little, I don't know. We're not worried about ticket. I'm never worried about ticket sales. Like, I just don't like freak out. And the day of an event, I remember, oh man, I hope we have a good door. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hope the door shows up today. It's like, nah.
It's raining.
Yeah. It's raining. No one might come. It's too cold outside. Like, just, those are things that I know that other promoters have to worry about that we don't. And it allows us to really run a smooth event the day of and really focus on the fighters, because we're not worried about anything else but fighters come weigh-in day.
Well, with the consistency that we've had over the years, it's allowed us to have those fine-tune adjustments. If you're only having 2 events a year or 3 events a year, what adjustments can you really make with those few number of reps? And I know on like the production side of things, I always just started to view it as like, all right, I don't have to change the world from event to event. Mm-hmm. I can just make one little tweak, and then we get to run a whole rep, and then I can tweak one little tweak. After a year, that's 16, some years 18, 20 tweaks.
Yeah.
That's how you can really, scale things up. And as we, now approach 200, is like, think of the number of tweaks that have been made over the course of, that many events. It's what has really allowed us to separate ourselves from the competition.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Because we get more opportunities to tweak and figure it out and make adjustments. And I'm excited to see, because right now our focus gets to be, things that really don't, the live event is the live event. Like, we're not even really focused on making any adjustments there. I love the live event. Like, could we add an LED screen? Yeah, for sure. Can we add, different lighting? Yeah, for sure. Like, there's things we can add to make the live event better, but the experience the fans get and the experience that the fighters get, it's locked in, man. It's so good. I wish there was a, Julian and me, Julian's one of my good friends, Julian Williams, always talk about like the promotions we fought on coming up, and like these amateurs have no idea, and the pros have no idea what they're getting. Where we would show up at 5 o'clock weigh-ins, we might get on the scale at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, The fight day, the bout order would change and things. It was chaos every time we fought. And for these guys to get such a smooth experience, it's like, I don't mind. Like, yo, I used to freak out about guys fighting outside of combat night. But like, yo, go get that experience. Go fight for the scrubs. Go do it. Go find out.
See what that's like.
Go get that feeling. You know, I have multiple. Every event that someone fights outside of combat night, they message me and they tell me, "Oh my God, I can't believe what happened," and I just laugh. It's like, yeah, I know all the things that happen at these other shows, the other events. I know some of these other events don't get the proper insurance. I know some of these other events change the bout order. I know some of the other. I know it all. I've seen it all now in the sport. I've been in it for so long. And I know who we are, so I don't need to be worried about who you're deciding to fight for or not fight for. Now, obviously, there are some times where like, yo, if you're our champ and we have a show the same day, like, what are you doing? Why are you fighting for that promotion? Like, you should be coming and representing and getting, defending your belt. But even then, it's just like, whatever.
And likewise, open to criticism. Don't just complain. If there's something that you think that we could do better, make a suggestion.
Yes. Nothing more I can stand than someone who's just going to complain and complain. Like, don't complain. Give a suggestion. Tell them, hey, I didn't like the way this went. Maybe you could try this. Maybe you could try that. But like, I just think about all the things that I would have wanted as a fighter. And that's what I try to give to these guys. Whether it's the videos of their fights, whether it's the highlights of their fights, whether it's the posters, the cool graphic design work to get, shout out to Josh Hernandez. Man, that boy is master in the lab when it comes to design work. The posters we got were like floating bodies. I mean, just horrible. I wish I could show you guys some of the horrible posters and design work we got. Good luck grabbing a sponsor with a poster that looks like your third grade, your little brother made it in his third grade class. So like, we just give them so many more opportunities to promote themselves and show themselves love. With sponsors or with their family and friends. I couldn't even, so many fights I couldn't show my kids. I can't show my kids my fight because it doesn't exist. There's no video of it. Multiple of my fights. You guys don't have to worry about that. All your fights are up on YouTube. They're on Instagram. You got plenty of things to show your kids and your loved ones. So that's why it was such a big deal for me. The weigh-ins, okay, you stick around for 2 or 3 hours. Guess what? They ain't got no snacks for you. They ain't got no snacks. Like, we'd be lucky to have water, you know what I mean? So it's just all these little things that we do. Is I just remember what my experiences were as an athlete and what I didn't like. And if I didn't like it, I'm changing it. I'm not just complaining or doing the same thing because that's what everyone does. No, I'm changing it and trying to make it better for the athletes.
That was part of like the beginning of our relationship whenever you brought me in the mix with Combat Night and also getting me gigs for your pro fights. So you're making sure he's like, man, I don't even want to take the risk that my fight might not get recorded. So you put me in contact with whoever the promoter was for that event. And it's like, hey, I got this guy, I can do this. And, really, I was really only there to record your fight.
Yeah.
But to make sure, and there wasn't anybody else there recording. So it was certainly fortunate that you did do that.
Yeah.
And that was towards the tail end of your pro career. But those are some of the fights that we actually still have now.
Yeah. One of my favorite wins, honestly. One of my favorite wins was that win that you came and recorded the guillotine where I had him up in the air. Mike Perry fought on that card, Alex Nicholson fought on that card, Julian Williams fought on that card, and all those guys have footage of their fight because of you. Like, without you, they don't have footage. I even brought my own ring announcer to this fight, y'all. Like, the ring announcers were so janky and so horrible. I was like, nah, I'm trying to get a good intro. Rest in peace, Troy. Came out, he announced one fight, and I'll never forget. Someone actually sent me a picture of this memory, and I said I was going to talk about it today, so I'm kind of glad you mentioned that fight. Troy kills it on the mic, and then like I watch him, like he flips the mic in the air, catches it, and hands it back to the guy, and the guy was like,
Who, for any of you that don't know, he is the voice that you hear at the beginning of all of our videos. The "Are you ready?" That's Troy.
Yes, the natural, man. Troy had a gift. He was very, very good on the mic. We love Troy, man. Rest in peace. But yeah, that fight was a special one for me. It was a night before a combat night. I had like 6 of my teammates fighting on the amateur card for combat night the very next day. They all came to watch me fight. I sold like $15,000 in tickets. Julian sold like $15,000 in tickets. It was at the OLE. where we ended up doing events eventually. But Larry Folsom was the referee that checked me in. Rest in peace, Larry. Josh Saman was in my corner. Rest in peace, Josh Saman. So to have that video and that memory of that moment is like so special to me. And I know that every fighter is fighting through something. Every fighter has something going on, and every fight is important to have as that memory. You know, whether it's like you just lost your mom, you just lost your dad, or you're going through a hard time, maybe you're going through a breakup. So like these memories are so important, and like I couldn't even. It's beyond me to think like, how could you spend? You know, some of these promoters will spend $20,000 on production, on lighting, and all these fancy things, and then they never give you your fight video. Like, bro, what are you doing? How?
Yeah.
Are you so worried about all these other things, but you're not worried about the fucking fighter? But yeah, that fight is very important to me. Clint Hester showed up and supported me in that fight. Like I said, Josh the Man was in my corner. Bobby Robert was in my corner. Jim Ehlers was in my corner, although he wasn't like in my corner because Bobby Robert didn't like him and they whatever. Richard Cox was in my corner. Matt Muncy was in my corner. Again, Larry Folsom checked me in. I walked out to Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Introed it from the Mike Tyson, I'll fuck you till you love me. And then cut to Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
I remember me and my homie cut that audio together on the drive down. He sent me the files and was like, yeah, we can work with this. And so we made your walkout song for that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I see at that point I was already doing events and I kind of knew like, yo, these events need to do better. And I'm not going to just be okay with the bullshit they're giving me. I remember about to walk out and the guy can't play my song. And I'm like looking at him and like the DJ's like scrambling. He's like looking at me. It's like we're right by the walkout by the DJ and I'm just sitting there. But you got to walk. And I'm like, fuck you. By this point, I worked with the state long enough. I know like, no, this ain't about you. The state, that's another thing. At most events, the states are trying to push you into the cage and out of the cage. Nah, bro. I will straight up tell the state, you better chill out. This is their moment. It took 8 weeks to get in this cage. They're going to have their 2-minute walkout. It took 8 weeks to get in the cage. They're going to have time for photos after. Like, don't try the fighters. Like, that's not it. Not at my event. Maybe they want you to do that at PFL. Maybe they want you to do that at the UFC. Maybe they want you to do that at all these other shows. But at Combat Night, the fighter gets their moment. They earned that moment. And I'm not going to let someone who works for the state come in there and rob our athletes of their moment. It is their moment. I believe Faulkner, I'll have to post it one day. Faulkner got a video of me going at it with the state because they pushed the fighter out for the photos. And I caught it and I went and I was like, no. I was like, get back in the cage. I was like, you want to get back in the cage? What do you want? Photos? What do you want? You want to interview? And the state's like, oh no, I said, this ain't your show. This ain't your show. They can do whatever they want. And they're like, okay. They just kind of looked at me and it's like, yeah, bro, don't ruin the moment. Don't ruin the moment for the guys that are the reason we're here. Like we wouldn't even be at this event having this moment. You wouldn't be getting paid if it wasn't for the 8 weeks of hard work that he did and everyone else in this building that's fighting. So chill. But yeah. So that was funny. Good memory. The song, the video, the announcer. we basically took over the event for my one fight. And then the next day we sold out an Orlando event. And it was really cool to fight the night before. I still did weigh-ins. I did everything I was supposed to do for Combat Night. And then we had a great show the next day. That was a bucket list weekend for me. I did that twice. One time in Orlando. And then one time in Pensacola and Tallahassee, I fought for Island Fights for Dean Toole. Shout out Dean Toole, one of the homies, one of the OGs in the game, been doing it for a long time. And then the next day we had a show in Tallahassee. So, man, that's a good memory. And thankfully, again, Dean understands it. He gets it. He's there for the fighters. So I have a video from that event too. But the one you specifically mentioned is very, very near and dear to my heart.
All right. I'm looking at some of these comments.
I see John Morea. John is one of those guys that is doing it right. I talked about guys earlier. If you're not getting in the game when you're 18 or 17 years old, like Seven Perkins, you're coming to the game in your early 20s, you better sprint, you better run. And John Morea is running. He took a lot of fights in a very short period of time. He's going pro on March 28th. I cannot wait to watch him make his pro debut. And yeah, like I said, I think he did it right. He took tough fights. He didn't take easy fights. He was in some wars. He lost some fights. You know, he knows what it feels like to lose. He knows what it feels like to be on the road. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm big on JM too. I think that he's going to have a very good career. I'm excited to see him get started in Orlando with his pro career. And I won't be surprised if he fights 3 or 4 times this year. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, super professional, great to work with. And I mean, it can't go without saying that it always endears us to fighters whenever they're willing to come and be behind the scenes and help with putting on shows that they're not competing on.
Yeah.
And just be in the mix with us in that way. Like, obviously it helps us get to know you better and lets us see kind of a different side of you and your work ethic and whatever. And I just remember seeing him a couple weeks ago at the Orlando show helping with setup and stuff.
Yeah, the Orlando setup team, I'm not gonna lie, was my favorite. I loved it. We had John Morea, we had Joe Gonzalez, we had Shane Godoy, we had Brian Santiago, we had Tim Abdil-Shahid.
We had all Combat Night champs.
Yeah, a lot of guys, and they all took tough fights. Like, they're all taking really, really hard fights. All of them have lost some, not all of them, but some of them have lost some fights. Shane Godoy's pro debut, we're gonna talk about that too. Oh my God, you want to talk about heart? You want to talk about a dog? Shane Godoy is him. I mean, I thought he was dead to rights. I thought he was stick a fork in him. He is done. And Shane said, not today. Yeah, you guys, it doesn't matter where you train at. If you train at Dark Wolf, you train at the Jungle, you train at Freedom Fighters, you train at Elevate MMA, come out, hit me up. Hey, you want to come see what the whole process is like? You want to come see what it's like to set up the cage and be a part of it? We hook you guys up with a free VIP ticket for being a part of it all. And some of the guys end up being a part of the crew and, making a little extra side cash. And if you're going to have a side hustle, I would much rather you come out and instead of being a bar back and making 100, 150 bucks, being a bar back on a Saturday night and being out till 2 or 3 in the morning, come and be security and come work a Combat Night event, make 100, 150 bucks and be around what you want to do for the rest of your life. Don't be around a bunch of drunks or run a bunch of cigarette smoke. I see a lot of guys doing security side gigs and doing bar back side gigs. And it's like, man, you're not around the lifestyle that you want to make for yourself. It's not good for you. I'm sorry. It's just not. I've had these conversations with guys where I'm like, yo, if you really want to lock in, you got to stop that 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. security gig and then trying to get up the next morning and go train. Like, you're killing yourself. What are you doing? Find a different side hustle. But one of those side hustles can be Combat Night. We're always looking for athletes that want to get involved. And again, if you're professional, you do the right things, you show up on time. Eventually you could, you'd be working with us. I know Timmy has made quite a lucrative side hustle out of Combat Night. I know Brian Santiago's on that same path. Taylor White, Ariana Melendez, Ernesto now. But yeah, it doesn't matter what gym you train at, guys. Hit me up and come out and see what it's like to be a part of the crew. Like Ramsey said, we get to know you a little bit better, and we really have a good time. We really have a good time at setup. It never feels like work to me.
Because it's not work to you, because you show up late and boss everybody around. Oh, I tried to give Angel a shout out on our post-event call the other day about I'm sure he's not watching, he's probably at church.
Angel at church.
We hit the bullseye on the cage setup. Mitchell came in, we didn't have to move it a centimeter in any direction. So between me and Angel, primo.
Yeah, I am guys, when I tell you I care so much about the experience and the attention to detail for the fighters, number one, but the fans are a very close second to the fighters. I care about everything. There is not a single tweak that I'm not okay with making. I'm going to make every tweak, and I don't even care if anyone else, like the cage. Obviously I'm a small guy and it takes multiple people, but like, you'll see me at the event when you come to be a part of setup. If I'm moving chairs by 1 inch, 2 inches, I'm moving 10 rows of chairs of 50, of 10, 12 chairs by 1 inch or by 2 inches because it's not where it needs to be. So yeah, Orlando was probably the first time in a very long time that there was no adjustments that needed to be made.
I don't know if ever, maybe. So, and there's a bullseye for every different venue. So,
yes.
And we used to laugh at you about that. Maybe some people still do. And when we talk about it, some people that are newer to being a part of it will be like, what? And it's like, yeah, look, just this is how it goes.
It is what it is, man. I'm a psychopath. I know it. Like, I'm a maniac. I get it. I don't apologize for it. I used to apologize for it, but now I've started to understand that I think that's a big reason for a lot of our success and a big reason for the people that I'm been able to surround myself with, because I hold myself to such a high standard. And if you're in my circle of friends, I hold you to a high standard too. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to be in my group, I'm holding you to a high standard. I don't let people get by with excuses or bullshit. I hold everyone around me to a very high standard, and yeah, sometimes it's so high and so ridiculous that it's moving the cage 3 inches to the left, and he moved it 5 inches. I'm like, no, we got to go back to the right 2 inches. I'm never just like, no, that's good. That's good enough. If I say that out loud, it usually means it would be perfect for somebody else. But for me, it's like, oh, that's good enough. Like that phrase barely comes out of my mouth, but when it does come out of my mouth, it kind of hurts me to even say it.
I don't know that I've heard you say that's good enough. It might be that will have to work.
There you go. That's more like, yeah, that'll have to work. But yeah, I'm a maniac. I'm a psychopath, and hopefully, you know, I think it's all paid off in the long run, and hopefully it'll continue to pay off, and we'll get to where I want to be, but yeah.
It's certainly paid off. We're starting year 14. We're coming up on 200 shows. I mean, that don't happen without there being an immense attention to detail and consistency, over the years. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Like it's and it's so funny. Like, even though I hear you say that and I hear people say it and praise it, like in my own brain, it's like, man, we ain't shit.
I think that too. Not, there's a side of me that is proud, obviously, of the work that we've done over all these years. And then there's still that like side of me that's like, man, we ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Like I said, so it's good for me to hear from guys like Miles. It's good for me to hear stories from guys like Val Woodburn or Lucas, or, seeing the stories like Seven. It's like, yeah, those are all good for me, but I don't ever dwell on success. We just had that huge event in Orlando, and on Sunday I was grinding for Fort Lauderdale. This whole week I have grinded for Fort Lauderdale. I've been waking up at 7 a.m., going to bed late. The night before weigh-ins in Orlando, I made a day trip to Tallahassee. Woke up at 4 a.m., got back at 6 p.m. to watch my baby girl's first T-ball practice. So I do not dwell on success. I do not. I am very much like pushing hard toward us continuing to grow and be the best.
Yeah, I feel that, if it's not, there's a level of acceptance. Like, Orlando wasn't necessarily a bullseye for me. I wanted to roll out our thing, there, and that didn't happen. And so to me, it's like, I have this like gaping hole. And so I'm looking forward to Fort Lauderdale to hit that target more accurately. So, it's always like, there might be things that are totally outside of what people see or know. And it's like, I'm glad you had a great time. It was fantastic, for you and for you and for you and for you. But for me, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. For the events, the goal is the fans and the fighters to feel like everything was perfect. Like, I don't care if there's complete chaos in the background. I don't care how nuts stuff's happening in the background. As long as the fans and fighters don't realize it, Yeah. Sometimes I have meetings with my mentors or my sponsors, and I'll be talking to them, and I'm like, yeah, man, this event was rough. They're like, what do you mean? It was amazing. It was the best event ever. And it's like, well, good. I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah. That's what I want. The fans, I want the fighters to feel that way. And I want to feel like there's room for improvement. I never want to go after an event and be like, yeah, that was perfect. Nothing else is going to get better. Even though it was such a good, successful event, there's still, I had a list of things. We have a call after every event and a call before every event. And I had a list of things to discuss of like, yeah, this is where we can improve. This is what I want to see different. So yeah, I
something on my own team I've had to get better at is acknowledging, jobs well done, because obviously the things that are screwed up, it's like my Gordon Ramsay. It's like things that are screwed up is what stand out to me. Even if it was just like, oh, the camera was shaky at this point, or something wasn't centered, or this transition didn't look right. Whenever somebody's like, they say like, oh, how we do? My mind goes to the things that were not perfect, not the, maybe 99 things that you did.
Yeah.
Fantastically. But it's important to acknowledge the things that you do well, but hone in on the things that you didn't, because that's where the improvement happens.
Yeah, no, 100%. Constructive criticism is always the first thing that comes to my mind. But yeah, like we've already said, we've got everything so dialed in, and we want to just keep little tweaking the knobs. That is what stands out for me as well. And I think anyone who's a high achiever, that's always going to be what stands out, is the things that went wrong. And I've gotten very good at acknowledging the wins over the wrongs over the last 2 or 3 years. But it took me 10 years to really like kind of realize like, all right, you gotta chill out. Can't show everyone you're a psychopath all the time. You have to, pull that back some and make sure you're highlighting the good stuff as well.
Because people just get beat up.
Yes. You don't want to beat them up too much. let's get started on some of these end of the year. Let's close out the podcast with some of these highlights from the end of 20 or the year 2025. Let's see what we got first. We made some really cool videos of the contenders of the year. We already announced a lot of the winners.
You want me to fire them right now? Yeah. Okay.
And we'll see the first one on the docket. We all voted on these. We have a little board of people that we send this to. There's about 12 of us that vote. So the winners were picked due to voting. Maybe I didn't vote for that person. Maybe Ramsey did. Let's see. Quentin Bray's submission. That was nasty. Leo, man, the liver kick to the rear naked choke to the double birds.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of rear naked chokes this year for submissions of the year.
Oh, that was Irvin Enriquez.
Yeah, Irvin, man, that guy's got a tank on him.
Cody Cook.
That's a big win over Ginseng.
That was Eddie Perez Bruno.
Yeah.
Oh, this David Macias.
Yeah. That was a nasty armbar after a rough.
That was up for comeback of the year as well, right?
Yes. And you know, I'll say this. I didn't think it was the best submission of the year.
I'm sorry. I just see a comment from Richard. Did Raina send you the link, Richard? We wanted to get you jump in on this with us. He's not liking my blue light blocking glasses. Call me Elton John.
What else we? Oh, I just realized he's in there now. Yeah,
I see Rise is in there too. I don't know if that's senior or junior.
Yeah, David Angel is another one that we've watched come up in the sport. Just recently made his pro debut. He's 1-0 with a nasty knockout. But man, these submission of the years, there were so many fire submissions this year. And
that was the pro version of
that was the pro version. And sometimes the amateurs are better. They really get after it. I personally thought that Quentin Bray, that rear naked choke, maybe it was just the angle or what. I also thought that David Macias, I thought they were both like submission of the year worthy. That to me, arm bars are so low percentage in MMA that yes, the arm bar should be considered as a big one. But Quentin Bray's rear naked choke was just so nasty. It was so devastating, and the theatrics of how it all happened were sick. So I voted for Quentin Bray. Do you remember who you voted for that one?
For submission, I thought I voted for David Macias.
Okay, David Macias did end up winning that. He did end up winning submission of the year. That video will be coming out soon. I'm not upset with that. I personally thought that David should have won comeback of the year. He got dropped. He had to fight through a lot of adversity. And I thought comeback of the year, honestly, he could have won both. But in my own brain, I try not to give a guy. I try to if there's two things he could win, I want to say which one was the better of the two. So in my brain, I thought the comeback was the better of the two. And he did not win comeback of the year. So I got voted out on two. I didn't. The submission guy I voted for didn't win, and the comeback of the year guy that I voted for didn't win. But David Macias did win submission of the year. That video is already made. It'll be getting put out soon.
Do you have the form?
I do. I have the form, and I have screenshots of the form actually.
So I'll make sure I'm not talking some jive.
Miles is who I sent it to. I can pull it up real quick. We won't out everybody who everyone voted for. We won't do that, but we'll talk about our votes. Sign into Google. While we do that, you want to pull up that next video, maybe the comeback. If you see the comeback of the year, since we just talked about that for the pros.
Yeah, let's see that. These are the contenders, and so there's Macias and Chambers.
Yes.
Oh, it's even better angle of that.
Oh yeah, it's nasty. I mean, hitting an armbar off the back after being rocked. Here is the Shane Godoy one. I mean, man, when you see Shane's eyes, you're just like, oh man, he's backing up.
Thought he was fading.
And then gets the rear naked choke for the finish. That's not a great comeback. I mean, that's a great comeback. Don't get me wrong. And that is who ended up winning comeback of the year. But I personally thought David Macias, he actually was dropped and was put in a very bad predicament there. Kenny Augusto was another one that was in that comeback of the year talk. So questions. Let's see. Best submission of the year. Yes, you voted for David Macias. And I voted for Taylor Buford versus Quentin Bray. Comeback of the year. Let's see it. Do you know who you voted for? You voted for Shane Godoy as well.
Yeah, I thought so.
For comeback of the year, what's crazy is comeback of the year, I'm the only person that voted for David Macias. What? Come on, guys. He got dropped. He ate a head kick. He got a nasty takedown. He did.
I don't remember what order they were in on the form. I think maybe I didn't double up.
Okay. Yeah, that might be the case too. And then a few people, Kenny Augusto was in a close second place for his TKO win over Michael Tovar. Let's see what video you want to pull up next. I'll pull up the results.
All right, let's go. We're still talking pro. Let's
Pros.
go pro knockout.
All right. Oh, I think this was unanimous. No, it was not unanimous. That was that to me.
That an Aaron France spinning kick.
If he had put him out with a spin kick, that probably would have won.
Yeah.
Before that event, we were actually just talking about
Tyler Stout.
Yeah.
Segurato with the spinning.
That was the same night too. Those knockouts happened the same night.
Brad Taylor over apple pie.
Yeah, that was just crazy to see live.
Christian Lawson over Keith Speed.
Not many guys put guys out during the ground and pound.
This is Asa 10 Powell over Wonky.
Yes. Wonky had been, that was also comeback. I mean, for a comeback win, Asa had been getting drugged by Wonky. Wonky was taking him in deep waters in the grappling department. Looked really good, but Asa had been logging in body work the whole fight. And then he finally put him away with the body work and put him down. That was a great fight. For the best knockout, the first one, can you play that video one more time?
Yeah.
I feel like, the Eddie Perlaza. That's the one I wanted to see.
Oh, EJ Hernandez.
EJ, yeah. Man, that's who won. That was the most brutal knockout I've seen in a very long time. Like all these other knockouts, there was, multiple shots for the most part being made to make the knockout. EJ was one punch.
Oh, let me throw Ricky Ricardo jumped in the. Let me throw him in here.
Segredo was one elbow. So those two for me really stood out.
What's up, homie?
We got
What's up, gentlemen? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we got you.
We got Richard Cox in the mix now. How you doing, man? You having a good Sunday?
I'm having a wonderful Sunday. Just been slowed down watching you guys past hour.
Nice.
You just get out of church.
Ooh.
What, Richard? Who did you
I go to
vote
church
for?
every day.
Who did you vote for knockout of the year, Richard?
Oh man, I think that was the easiest one, to be honest. EJ.
Yeah, I agree. The brutality of it all.
I don't remember if I voted for EJ or for Segredo.
You voted for Segredo. No. Wait, you voted for Aaron Franz.
Oh, I was on that Iceland.
Yeah.
Ish.
The spinning heel kick. Like I said, if that
was good.
Yeah, if that had put him out completely, then yeah, I think he would have won. But something different about someone putting someone completely out, like to sleep, makes Segredo's and EJ's knockout kind of stand out above the rest.
I might have been being a homer on that one. I like Aaron.
Telling people's votes, huh? That's not very
just
patriotic.
Just ours.
Just ours, fella.
We're just owning up to them.
Yeah. I'm transparent. I am transparent.
All right, where we going next? We did
best knockout, best submission, comeback of the year. What about fighter of the year? We don't have a video for that yet. It's going to be coming out here soon. But the three athletes we had in the running for fighter of the year was Derek Babcock at 3-0. We had David Macias at 3-0. And we had Ali Abuzulam at 3-1. Ali was extremely active last year. I started the year out of 2025 not liking Ali. I told this man this. I don't like you. I did not like you. And he won me over. He's now one of my favorite fighters. So as I said earlier, guys, I don't necessarily I like the guys that doing the right things. And Ali is a true professional. He's a promoter's favorite fighter, to be honest with you. Richard, you want to share the story about the video he sent you that kind of got us? Do we like this guy a lot? Do you remember the WWE cut he did?
Yeah, that kind of won me over as well.
We'll share it with the fans, buddy. I'll share it. Richard's glitching over there a little bit with the internet, maybe. Ali sent us a video basically cut a promo saying like, yo, telling us, hey, I want to fight for you. Like, just make it happen. All these things. And we were like, all right, well, we'll make it happen then. Like, fuck it. We'll make it happen. And he did not fight easy fights. Ali fought, in my opinion, the toughest out of everybody for the fighter of the year. He fought the toughest of the tough. And if he had beat Jeremiah McDougal, which was, I mean, that fight was razor close. If he had beat Jeremiah McDougal, for me, it would have been a sweep. No doubt about it. Ali would have won fighter of the year, in my opinion.
I agree.
David Macias and Derek Babcock both had similar opponents. But Derek won the 45 belt. And, so that's what I think was the nod over. And it looks like, for them. Do you remember who you voted for on that one, Ramsey?
Which one?
The fighter of the year.
Who were the nominees again?
Derek Babcock, David Macias, and Ali Abuzulam.
Ali?
Nope, you voted for Macias.
Oh, okay.
Not a bad choice. Me and Richard both had Derek Babcock on that one. And he ended up getting the nod. But like I said, all three of these guys are savages. They all stayed very active.
No bad choices there.
No. And if you want to get to the next level, that's the kind of record you should have at the end of every year. 3-0, 3-1, 4-0. Like, you should be fighting 3 or 4 times a year. If you want to get there, you got to be active. Get in Richard Cox's inbox. And don't be afraid to, like, I don't want to say bug us, but like, if we don't hear from you ever, like, less chance of getting a fight. If we don't hear from you, we got to know you want to fight. Don't just rely.
So I get I check
Yes.
comments on YouTube and I see so many people saying, how do I get into this? How do I get into this? How do I get into this? And I just be throwing Richard's in the comments. So this is the guy right here. If you want to fight for us, no matter where you're from, this is the guy that you gotta talk to. And it's not really just a matter of sending him a text and saying I want to call. He's definitely gonna want to know what gym you're training at and likely speak to your coach. So but that's the guy right there. If you want to.
Luis Perez.
Sorry,
go ahead.
brother. No, I was just gonna say, I get it all day, every day. Somebody be like, man, I've been trying to get on a combat night card all year. And I'm like, really? Because I've not heard from you. And I'm always out there looking.
And
so if you want to fight, hit me up.
And if you send me a message, I'm sending you to Richard Cox. I don't know how many group chats I have with Richard of guys that say they want to fight, and then I put them in the group chat and they don't even respond. It's like, okay. Someone to give credit to, we talked about earlier as well, was Luis Perez. Man, Luis Perez has sent us so many names of guys, and I don't know why so many people are scared of this dude. Honestly, I'll just say it. Like, there's not a lot of guys that I can say, when they make these posts about, oh, no one wants to fight me. Most of those guys are full of shit. I'm going to let you know. If you see a fighter talking about, oh, no one wants to fight me, I can't find a fight, tag us. Tag us. Because they're probably lying. They're just probably lying. They're being real with you. What they can't find is the right fight for them. What they can't find is an easy win. Luis Perez, however, boy, he'd be calling out everybody. And we'd be messaging them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, as soon as they say, oh, you got to talk to my manager. I'm like, here we go. The manager is going to tell us no, not the fighter. It could be a guy with an even same record as him. It could be a guy with more fights than him. And Luis Perez, he is that guy. He's trying to stay active and he wants to fight. He's another one of those guys I talk about that if you want to make it in the sport, the UFC used to care so much about like wins and losses and, having that O next to your name. They just don't care about that as much anymore. So you got to fight. You got to be active.
They want activity.
Activity and entertainment. That's what they want. Activity and entertainment. All right. What do we have next? What video do you want to pull up next?
I got some amateur ones. So let's go amateur sub.
All right.
Started with Taj.
That was a nasty rear naked choke. That
was Dylan Sawyer.
Gilly. He jumped the Gilly. Jaime Verret putting someone to sleep. The straight ankle. Very rarely you see that in MMA. That was awesome to see live. And it was a quick, like 37 seconds. This was a big one. Lucas Smith's Darce. That was a big fight. Both those guys undefeated. Pretty solid prospects in the sport, especially for their wrestling department. Do you remember who you voted for?
I don't.
You voted for Lucas Smith versus Harvey Ridings.
Okay, was that on the last amateur card of the year?
Yes.
Last year? Yeah.
So again, I was a big submission. That was a big fight between those two guys, both high level grapplers that a lot of people are looking at as a potential, like, probably pros going into next year. Richard, do you remember who you voted for?
I do.
You want to share it?
Well, a couple things. I'm a little personally involved, and I also
you voted for George.
I love leg locks. Yeah, so I went bananas for the leg lock.
I will say every year we might have 2-3 like leg lock finishes, like especially in the amateurs. We might only have, that might have been the only leg lock finish last year because a straight ankle is not an easy submission to get, and it's very risky to drop back for a straight ankle. So it's kind of like I call it like a suicide position, and he didn't have to even. It's not like it was 10 seconds left in the round. Let me try this. It was like the beginning of the round. He had already bipped him up, already dropped him, and went for the straight ankle. Not a bad choice at all. Obviously, we had 100 submissions last year, and these 4 or 5 made it. I voted for Dylan Sawyer and Chris Ward. Again, I'm a little biased to the Gillies. I love the Gillies. Yeah. That was a great fight up to that point. They both landed some good shots. We're both in some crazy situations. Dylan had just been slammed earlier in that fight by a crazy single leg, and for him to be able to lock in that Gilly and go airborne and keep it, I thought it won submission of the year. Taj Amir versus Aiden Murray was second place. That was a great rear naked choke. He had survived a Michael Chandler moment just prior to that and held on to the rear naked and got it. So no bad choices there again. See what we got coming up next.
All right, let's go amateur comeback.
Amateur comeback. Well, there were some good ones on this too. Some really good ones. This one, Bernardo made his debut against Taj Amir, who was just in the running for submission of the year, and Taj was putting it on him.
Mm-hmm.
But when it got to the ground, that Wagner Hocha black belt from Bernardo came out. And this is another good one. We talked about this fight earlier.
There's Lance
Evans versus Alex.
What's pause, Juan? What'd he say?
Boom. Ends up getting it. He was very, very excited about that. Boy, hype. That is also Rashad Evans' nephew. The comeback, almost at the beginning of the fight, he got dropped and was able to figure it out and come back and end up getting the TKO himself. A lot of really good choices there as well.
I feel like I probably chose Lance.
Yes, you did. You chose Lance. Richard, remember who you voted for on that one?
Oh man. No, tell me.
You did Lance as well.
Yeah, the South Florida show. That's right.
Yep. I voted for Taj Amir versus Bernardo. Bernardo had been dropped like 3 times in that fight, and I thought there was no hope for him. I thought he was dead to rights. So I went with him because he was a slower comeback. Again, Lance's fight was amazing. Nothing wrong there either. In Taj's fight with Bernardo, Taj did everything right. He maintained his distance, made him get up. Everything was very right. In the Lance fight, Alex rushed him. I feel like he got a little too excited and almost opened the window for him to get the comeback. Where in the Bernardo fight, I feel like Bernardo had to fucking jump through the window. He had to break the window for the comeback. So that's why I chose Bernardo over Lance. That was my reasoning, at least.
And who won?
Bernardo.
Oh, Bernardo won.
Yeah.
All you jiu-jitsu guys. Well, what I was thinking is, as we're talking about, these like votes and stuff, it's like you guys, you fighters, you come in contact with every single person that voted on these. It's all part, it's all our, comment crew. So,
yes, but hey, I don't mind sharing my votes, whether it's right or wrong. Again, because all these choices are great options. There's no one on this list. If you made it, you got to think about it, guys. We had 16 events, an average of, I'd probably say, between the pros and the amateurs, probably an average of like 20 fights an event. If we took maybe even more, maybe 21 or 22, but times 16, I mean, we're talking about 300 plus fights. So to be one of the top 3 or 4, that's already a big deal in itself. It's not like we just do 3 events a year or 4 events a year and we're picking between, 60, 70 fights. We're picking from 300 fights. And, we put a lot of time and effort into this. Like, we really care about the accolades and showing you guys love at the end of the year for your hard work. So just to make it on this list is a big deal.
So we had this video is entitled Amateur Slam.
Ooh, this is my favorite one. Yee, the Juan, the big slam on Lucas. Mike Bartolo, that was nasty. See, a lot of these guys he's some familiar faces.
There's Harvey.
The backflip. Oh, the belly to back was nasty. This was a fun one. Yalowitz. Yeah, a lot of great takedowns throughout the year. That's probably one of the harder ones to figure out because, man, so many of those were so good.
Yeah, they're all fun.
All fun. And if you ask me, I mean, again, too, you saw a bunch of those guys in other realms, right? Like, because if you get a big submission, you probably started with a big slam. So you did see a lot of those guys in the other options as well. Ramsey, remember who you voted for on this one?
I don't. Bartolo?
Not Bartolo. Let me see. You voted for Harvey Ridings and DeJuan White.
Okay.
I mean, Rich, remember who you voted for?
Backflip.
I think I went Harvey and DeJuan as well.
You went for Bartolo.
Really?
You guys got your picks opposite.
People are always confusing us for each other, so
yes,
it's all right.
Clearly, there's so much resemblance. Yeah, I voted.
That's for sure.
I voted for DeJuan on this one. I loved it. To be able to jump with someone on your back and land is just crazy to me. But I was torn between that one and the Harvey Ridings, DeJuan, because man, a backflip,
right?
Like, bro, you did a backflip while you're holding someone in the air while they have your neck. That is athleticism at the highest level.
I think on YouTube that one got the most hits of the different slam videos.
I mean,
I don't know what it was on Instagram, but I think on YouTube
I saw a bunch of hater comments like, "Oh, that's your best slam of the year. Your promotion must suck." And I'm like, tell me the last time you saw someone do a backflip with holding another person's body. Like, you're slow if you think that was not an amazing takedown. Beautiful takedown. All right, and then what do you got next?
I don't see a video for the Pro Slam unless it's not titled that.
Well, to be honest with you, there was no really good Pro Slams.
Romello on Bashmir.
Man, yeah. Or Romello and Macias.
Romello got some good ones as well.
Romello Slam King.
Well, let's vote right here. Who do you think had the best Pro Slam of the year? Richard, Ramsey, Mitchell. We're gonna just do a 3-way vote. What do you think, Val? You think Val or you think Romello? Remember, Romello had Macias where he dumped him upside down. He had Bashmir.
Yeah.
Turbo tax.
Oh.
They ain't paying us. Yeah, I think Romello.
Yeah.
Romello, we're gonna make you a video. Pro Slam of the Year, man. We're gonna highlight some of your slams, and he's done that in all his fights. He gets
Yep.
crazy air on his guys. Like he'd be on his tippy toes jumping.
Yeah.
And
with Bashmir, it was even like, did he try to spike him?
Yeah. Well, Macias as well.
Yeah.
Some tenacity in those slams.
Juan said most people can't even stand up when someone's on them, let alone backflip.
Yeah. Insane athleticism.
All right, let's go to we did amateur comeback.
Yes.
Amateur slam.
Female fighter of the year.
Let me do amateur KO.
Okay, yeah. Sheesh. That was a sick knockout, even sicker tackle. Leo again. He was featured earlier for submission.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Was that small gloves?
That small glove kickboxing.
Was that Swaby?
Yeah. From AMAA guys.
And there's Sean Forbes with the little dancey dance after
during the knockout too.
Devin Perkins.
Up 3 weight classes has to be acknowledged.
Yes.
Solomon Reed.
That was a nasty KO. And then the Barks. Yeah, can we watch those one more time?
Yeah.
I just want to see him again, man. Those are some nasty. These amateurs coming up. Next level amateurs out of combat night. Sam Aguirre. He set that head kick up so beautifully too. Leo, man, his liver shots are nasty. That's how he got the submission too. He started with a nasty liver shot. He went pro last year. He was in the running too for amateur of the year, but he went pro. Set that up nasty as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This little kid's nasty, Schaefer.
He's gonna be really. Is he gonna do MMA or he just wants to do kickboxing?
I would need to check in on that.
Say again. I pulled up the Bashmir on Ramsey. Oh, okay. Did you add it?
What a pro.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Schaefer, right?
Yeah.
He is that kid's gonna be nasty. Brutal hands. I hope he does want to do MMA because I would love to see him in small gloves.
Yes.
And now for the fans, we got Romelo's slam pulled up real quick. We can take a look at that so you guys know what we're talking about.
Which one?
Let's see. Just Macias or Bashmir? Who's getting a free first class ticket?
We see
There we go. We see it now.
It's our YouTube, so it shouldn't get flagged.
Yeah. And Macias was equally.
Yeah, that was a nice little piece of nastiness.
Yeah, you see the fans in the background going crazy for that one. I think the last we got everything. Oh wait, knockout of the year. So who voted for who? Ramsey, remember who you voted for?
For amateur?
Yes, for amateur.
Did we watch that?
We just watched it.
Oh my god,
twice.
I told you how my mind works. And
I'm the one that gets punched in the head, y'all.
Let's have another look.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Third time's a charm.
Can we get that ref a college scholarship for football?
Is that McNochie?
Yeah. That knockout was brutal, especially because of what happened right before that moment. His opponent had tried to.
I think I might have voted Swaby.
The dance. That was the same night as this one. Him and Seven.
Oh, no, I think I voted 7.
Yeah, we all voted 7 on that one. A unanimous decision. 7 Perkins.
I thought I was Shaper.
Let me see. Oh, you did. My apologies. You did.
All because This brings up something for next year, though. I think since we do so much Muay Thai and kickboxing, maybe we should split it up like MMA knockout.
I thought about doing that this
Because,
year, to be honest.
yeah, it's just so impressive because Schaefer's, no offense, Schaefer's a little guy and he's got those big gloves on, and that was some thunder.
Impressive. No, he dropped him right before that. That was also nasty, and then got right back in his face.
Yeah,
I'm real big on Schaefer. They fought for us a couple times last year. What I haven't seen them. They did.
Yeah, they've been trying to fight closer to home. We're going to get them back in the mix this year, though. The timing just hasn't worked out too well.
Maybe March 28th.
But Schaefer and golly, I feel like crap forgetting the guy's name. Devon from Camacho's gym. That little interaction, that little interaction they had in the back before they walked was a powerful moment.
That was a really good fight too. Schaefer was so upset with himself that he didn't finish him. I've never he reminded me a lot of my boy Troy Worthen. He was so hard on himself. He felt like he should have got the finish and he didn't. And
he got the finish. It just wasn't
he wanted it as impressive as he wanted.
He hit that Olay like switch knee to the liver. It was a beautiful technique.
There was a question in the comments I wanted to point out because you guys are the right ones to ask. If I can read this correctly, but it says FAC needs to stop with the too many TKOs. What even is that BS? Someone explain.
Oh my God! Please tell me who that is because I can't see the comments.
They're called Skull Wizard.
Oh, Skull Wizard! If you're got any heart, put your real name. Because some people deserve an answer and some people don't, and that's just being real.
I think they got a good they say good shit. Shout out Mitch and Ramsey and Richard, but FAC need to stop. So they gave us some love first, bro. I think it's a good person.
If this person's named Cody, I'm gonna not be surprised.
Yes, it is.
Wait. All right, so here's the thing. No.
Who's wait, who's Cody? Judd. Oh, Judd. Okay.
No offenses intended, but what the state is looking out for, and the thing is they've been very lax on it until 25. But man, if you're getting slept, you need to take long breaks. If you're not willing to take long breaks and you take 3 big knockouts in a row where you're sleeping, there's an element of you need to maybe find something else to do, or you need to improve your skills, but you definitely need to take time off. I don't think that these guys that are getting denied here recently are forever banned, but the state would like to see these guys take 6 months, take a year off. It's not good for you to get knocked out 4 times in a year. And so I don't look at it as a bad thing at all. I do think, and God bless FAC. Nobody's criticized them more than I have, but they're doing such a great job now. They're getting involved. Most commissions will get involved and have detailed talks about certain matchups. Hey, this matchup might not look great on paper, but it's like, hey, he's not going to get his brain knocked in. It may be a striker versus a grappler. But if you're getting all these TKOs in a row, they're not playing around anymore, and we should all take it serious. If you're getting knocked out 3-4 times in a row, you need to take a long look at yourself in the mirror, assess your training, and give your brain a break, man. Improve your skills. Come back with something to show them. Be like, hey, this was me in 24, but this is me in 26. Look at my skills. Look where I've improved. Plead your case. They're very reasonable. And like I said, that's coming from somebody that criticizes them more than anybody.
Yeah, hit a BKB. Hit something that you can have some video evidence to show, like, hey, look, I'm moving better. I'm doing a better job keeping my hands up. I'm torn on it, to be honest with you, because I think as a grown man, you should be able to make your own decisions.
I agree with that 100% as well.
I'm a true believer of freedom of speech, freedom of action, as long as you're not harming others. So I'm torn on that. I don't. No one steps in and tells the Miami Dolphins when they're 0-16 they can't play the 16-0 New England Patriots. And there's plenty of concussions.
You're right.
Plenty of concussions happening there. Plenty of helmets getting knocked around. So I'm torn on that. I think each to his own. Live your own life. And I'm even of the mindset of like, yo, you want to do meth? Okay, go do meth. Like, I don't care, as long as you're not harming other people. You shouldn't get arrested because you want to do meth. Like, it is what it is in my head. But I am a true I'm a true believer of freedom, as long as you're not hindering other people's quality of life.
Oh, if he does,
Guys,
he
don't do
does.
meth.
They said ass.
Don't do
I
meth.
know. I do think you should take a break. Like, listen, you should take a break.
Just on
100%.
weekends. Just
You
on
should take a break.
weekends.
But I'm freedom.
I
All right.
agree.
I think the last one we had was female fighter. You want to play that one?
Yes, we have that one up. We didn't have a lot of competitors in this division, but I don't think it would have mattered because Stone Cold dropping hammers.
Man, oh man.
Oh, hell yeah.
She was cooking in
Ooh.
2025.
We've never had anyone get the towel thrown in on them, much less twice in back-to-back fights. That's crazy.
And this lady was super experienced.
Both of them, yeah. One of them was undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd they get all these?
So wild.
I'm a huge fan of Stephanie as a person, not just
Yep.
as a fighter, but as an individual, as a human being. She's made the transition over to boxing now. She just won last night, actually. If you're not following Stephanie Stone Cold Calderon and you're a fan of people doing great things and just journaling it all or vlogging it all, I encourage everyone to go give Stephanie a follow. I don't watch many people's stories. I don't watch many people's I don't follow many people. I know that I do a lot on social media, like posting and stuff, but I'm not on there like watching stories or like doom scrolling. But I will always go to Stephanie's page and watch her story, watch her reel, because I am a huge fan of Stephanie Stone Cold Calderon.
There are a few topics that'll get a good doom scroll going.
Well, yeah, I don't say I don't, but like topics, not people in particular.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm big on Stephanie Calderon. There's some people that you meet in this world and that that it doesn't matter what they do, they're going to be great, and they're going to figure it out and they're going to have great things coming for their lives. And I believe Stephanie's one of those people. I think Seven Perkins is one of those people. I think John Maria is one of those people. You encounter these people throughout life and the way they handle things with grace and the way that they treat others. You just know, like, man, they got greatness ahead of them. And I think Stephanie's one of those as well.
Well, we had Stephanie in here at one point last year on the pod, and it was interesting to see her different, in-person persona versus what is in the cage. It's almost like Val Woodburn, where it's like, Animal is in the cage, and this really like timid, soft-spoken person is there in front of you. That was interesting to see how dynamic the difference is between the two.
Yeah, Stephanie, to say she's shy, I was like, "You're what?"
Like she was afraid to fight, like in high school, and you would imagine her being like a marauder in the hallway or the bully.
Yeah,
but it was actually getting bullied that like took her down that path. That was.
Do we have anything else for awards of the year, or was that it?
Oh, okay, yeah, Ref Cam.
Ref Cam. We did not pick. This was not a picked.
People be loving these, like all the comments and stuff on YouTube are just like, "Yo, UFC need to step it up. Where they at? What they doing?" Oh, that was Tyler Stout.
A lot of these were also on other. Yeah, that was a Segredo, Sam Aguirre. Boom, gets tackled. That was a nasty KO from Lucas Dos Santos. Phantom punch
from Corey Akerson.
Barely landed. Oy.
There's that spinning back kick and the flurry.
I love these glasses too, man.
Well, you buy enough of them.
Oy. The slow KO. Yeah, I know.
Because he loses them.
Bro, I've lost a pair of metas in every country I've went to. I found them in Japan, though. I lost them in Saudi for good. I lost them in Iceland for good. I lost them in Japan, but I got them back. That's the important part. Third time's a charm.
We say that's because in Japan they're like $4.
Well, it's because in Japan they're very honest and they don't. I left my phone in an arcade and like 2 hours later I came back and it was in the same exact spot.
That's wild.
That's literally no one messed with it. Caden left one of his train cards that it's like a credit card basically, and someone turned it into the arcade, and it's like basically like a preloaded Visa gift card. You know, no, you'll never know, you'll never track it down, and someone turned it in. We went back and someone had turned it in. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Japan's a very special. What about ref cams? What did y'all think was the best ref cam KO just now?
Man, they were all pretty spectacular. Angle wise.
Yeah, I like Tyler Stout's angle wise.
Yeah,
that was nasty.
I think the one with Aaron was pretty solid because the kicks there, and then the repositioning of the floor. You can really tell from these like which refs got the fast feet to get into position to see, you know, be in the optimal, see what's going on. Juan said in the comments, is there a vote for worst ref? I got 5 highlights and it's the same ref.
Ooh.
I think he's shots fired at his home team.
Yeah, he's always hating. Hey, just for reference, that ref has much improvement in 2025. You know, it's hard. It's to me, your reffing is the hardest job in the sport outside of fighting. It is not easy.
Well, you just stand there and
break them up. Yeah, that's it. You just stop a fight. How hard is it to stop a fight? But to be able to, like, especially whenever like it's a kickboxing or Muay Thai fight and the person gets dropped and they stand up, you have to take so many things into account. You have to look into their eyes. You have to make sure that the motor function is happening correctly. It's very, very hard to. I think it's hard, man. It's very hard to be a ref especially in 2025, 2026 with all the camera angles that we have. It's like, man, if you fuck up, we got you. Nothing gets by. And people have given me shit about holding the refs accountable. Excuse me? Like, what do you mean? Like, I get some of the highlights that we put out. People will like talk smack about, like, you know, whatever. And it's like, no, bro. I don't care who makes the mistake. If it's me, I'm gonna get highlighted. If it's Ramsey, he gonna get highlighted. If it's Richard, he gonna get highlighted. Like, it doesn't matter. And that's what I think is so cool about combat nights. We show the rawness. We show everything. We don't try to hide anything from the fans. We put it all out there for you to digest. If you want to be a dick at face-offs, guess what? We're going to show the world you're a dick. Mm-hmm. You want to be funny at face-offs? We're going to show the world you're funny. And people might think you're a dick for being funny. Like the Kurt Decker Snell thing. So many people were mad at Kurt for doing the Snell. I thought it was hilarious. It wasn't super disrespectful. It wasn't rude. It was a funny, cute, whatever. And you know, he won, but people were like, I hope he gets knocked out. It's like, what are you talking about? He did a Snell.
Yeah. You're not going to please nobody.
Nope.
Nobody ever.
But yeah, I think, I honestly, the officiating at combat night, a lot of guys don't know this, but we're not just trying to get fighters to the next level. We're trying to get everyone to the next level. One of the best examples of that is Matt Grafer, our announcer, who will be back in Tallahassee, February 14th. Matt, we're very excited to have you back with us. But you know, when he started with us, I think we were his first like major, like bigger gig. He had done a lot of trivia nights and wrestling promotions and maybe some other MMA shows, but we were the first, like, hey man, we want you to be our announcer. Like, we want to non-compete with other MMA promotions and boxing promotions or whatever. We want you to be our guy. I'm going to really invest my time in making you the best possible announcer you can be. I'm going to give you shit when you mess up. And I remember Raina infamously filmed a TikTok reel, and I'm in the background just like giving it to Matt about something he made a mistake about or whatever. And Matt said he appreciated that. Like, he'd never had anyone tell him he did anything wrong. He just thought he was the bee's knees, the best in the business. Matt is very good. I won't deny that at all. And he was very good. But like we talked about earlier, I'm always details. And now he's doing the Savannah Bananas, doing NHL, NASCAR. You know, he's got all these crazy gigs. And I love to see that success for Matt, and that he's moved on to, you know, bigger things in the community, in his community. You know, I would say he's probably one of the top announcers in the world now. So I want to see Miles. Yeah, I want to see Miles Amos get there. I would love to see Richard Cox matchmaking for the UFC one day. I would hate to lose him, but like, that would be fucking dope.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I would love to see you doing production for, you know, the highest level. Like, it's not a matter of before you guys go, obviously train somebody, give us somebody, but you know, just like we want to be the UFC one day. or on that level of viewership and eyeballs. I want everyone that's working this, the referees. We had Larry Folsom before he passed away, rest in peace, become a UFC ref. I promise you guys, if you watch Larry Folsom's first 20, 30 events, he made a lot of mistakes. There just wasn't cameras around catching all of them and showing them. So, Chris McNochie has now done some UFC events as well. He's our ref down in South Florida. So I love seeing these guys grow and get better. And just like any job, you're not going to be great out the gate. You're going to have to learn some things. And I always say this when people try to give me crap about like, oh, I don't want to ref for you because you're going to highlight my mistakes. Bro, if we can highlight a fighter's mistake, meaning he dropped his hand and got knocked out, if I can highlight a fighter, the person we care the most about in our organization, you best believe I'm highlighting a referee who doesn't get there in time and lets a fighter gets hit more than he should, or a referee that made a bad call that was a nut shot or that wasn't a nut shot or that, didn't do something right during the course of action. If I can highlight the fighters for making a mistake and getting choked, getting knocked out, I'm going to highlight you for allowing him to get punched more than he should or stopping it too early or whatever the case might be. Like it is what it is. You don't want to ref for us? Cool. We don't want someone who can't handle accountability.
Well, that being said, it's like they don't work for us.
They don't work for us either. Nope.
So
that too. How many fans don't understand? MMA has to be the sport with the most. I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean it in the way that it means ignorant. They don't understand the rules of the sport. They don't understand the inner workings of the sport. No one thinks that the umps in a baseball game work for the baseball team. But for some reason in MMA, all the referees work for the promotion.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like fans that played high school football, played college football, didn't play in the NFL, but think they know the NFL. And the NFL players are like, you don't know anything about how the NFL works. Now, when it comes to MMA, they ain't have nothing to do with anything on any level and think they know like how an organization works or how a system works. It's like you might think but not nowhere close.
And unfortunately, even a lot of fighters don't know the rule set and the inner workings of the sport that they're in. I see guys getting mad because a call got made, and it's like it just happened in Orlando. A spinning elbow. Someone landed a spinning elbow, and it was the forearm instead of the elbow, and the coach was going off on the referee inside of the cage. I'm out. That was a bad call. You shouldn't have stopped the fight. It was his forearm. It wasn't his elbow. And I was like, yo, coach. I was like, that's illegal. You're arguing about an illegal move. Oh, yeah, it was the forearm. And I was like, that's illegal. It has to be the padded back part of the glove. What are you doing? And I was like, the ref made the right call. And I'm also always going to stand up for who's right. And I'm always going to tell someone if they're wrong. Like, I don't care. If you don't like it, it is what it is. The truth doesn't have any emotions attached to it. The truth is the truth. And the coach was mad. And then after about 5 seconds, he came back and apologized and was like, you're right. Like, all right, cool. But yeah, it's crazy to be in this industry. MMA and combat sports is the only sport in the world that I know of that has a rules meeting before every event. Could you imagine every football game? All right, guys, every time you get the ball, you got 4 downs to try to get a first down.
You can run it. You can throw it.
You cannot interfere with the passer or you cannot interfere with the catcher. That's called pass interference. It's like, no. So it just tells you how young and early we are in the sport.
And how nuanced the rules are, even, by regions. Yeah. And whenever you mix amateurs with pros, it's even more.
Yep. And I feel blessed that we get to be a part of the growth of the sport. When in hopefully in 100 years, they look back and Combat Night was like a pioneer, obviously UFC is the first pioneer. UFC is like what, the Native Americans, and we're Christopher Columbus. I'm cool with that. No.
How's that work out?
But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
What'd you put in there?
Oh, Amy Fight of the Year. Is that the one we missed?
There's one straggler.
Ah, yes. This is the video. So let's talk about who the contenders were before we play that one.
Okay.
For Emmy Fight of the Year, we don't want to actually, and we got Event of the Year to talk about. So Emmy Fight of the Year. We didn't even put that on here. I think me and the boys just decided this was the Emmy Fight of the Year. So roll that beautiful tape.
All right.
This is Daniel O'Neal versus Aldo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These two were thugging it out on the feet. Eats the head kick, jumps back in it, spinning back fist. And guys, just for reference, a spinning back fist, it doesn't matter if they walk into it. If they walk into it, you should have controlled your weapon. You should have controlled your range and make sure that the back of the part of the glove lands. So really, spinning back fist isn't a move you should throw while someone's moving forward. It's a move you should throw while someone's moving backwards for high success. Yeah, this is an amateur. This was as close as a fight could possibly be. It was a great war. A little bit of animosity at the beginning of the fight. Aldo didn't want to touch gloves. Daniel O'Neal gave him the double birds. The crowd was going crazy.
Almost turned into something afterwards.
Yeah, it was a split decision win too. It's another thing too. Like, fans, understand, especially if you're the brother, you're the sister, you're the dad, you're the mom. You probably don't train. A lot of you guys don't train. Shut up. Just don't. Don't try to start crap with the guy that just fought your brother or your sister.
Especially if they squashed it.
Yeah, especially if they're in the cage hugging it out and they're being cool with each other. Like, don't do that. Like, that's ignorant. I don't. And everyone in the building can fight except for you. That's why they're not yelling and acting a fool. It's always the people who can't fight that are acting the most, that are doing the most. So guys, if you're there to support your boy, support your boy. Okay. And it's not supporting your boy to start a fight in the crowd. It's supporting your boy, win, lose, or draw, showing him love after the fight. And, no matter how much bad blood led up to that fight, it wasn't your bad blood. Okay. Don't be that football fan that's like, we lost this Saturday. Like, no, you're not a Chicago Bear. You're not.
Yeah.
You're the football team lost. So just be there, be a fan, enjoy it. Don't try to involve yourself into it, because it's not going to work out well for you. I promise you.
That fight stacks up against the one we just saw this past week. In my humble opinion, obviously I'm not carrying a judge's scorecard. I thought Dan won that fight. All props to Aldo. It was an amazing fight. Great performances by both guys. Just by my assessment of the way the contest went, I thought Dan won that. And yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, the night of, I thought O'Neal won. The night of, I thought it was close. Could have went either way. I was not mad about a decision. That's another thing too. Fans throw out the word robbery way too much.
No robbery.
Yes.
No robbery. It was a great fight. When I watched it back, Aldo did land, in my opinion, the cleaner shots. But it could have. It's even watching it back, even though I changed a little bit, it still could have went either way. It still was not like a clear-cut winner, in my opinion. I'd love to see the rematch, but yeah, the word robbery, man. Fans always be, "It was a robbery." It's like, no, it's not a robbery. Both of those guys look like they got put through the heat grinder.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Fight.
Yeah. So,
man, shout out to Danny Boy, because when has that guy ever let anybody down in the cage? I mean, that guy doesn't know how to not be exciting.
No, man. He's in
dog.
Poor guy's got like all 4 of his losses are split decisions. Like every one of them. He's fought for the belt 2 or 3 times. Every time split decision, lost. Like, it goes the opposite way. I
love when people will say something about his record too, and I'm like, yo, go watch this motherfucker fight. We don't care about what that number says. We care about what they produce in that cage. And this guy could easily be 7-1,
Yep. If he wanted to pick and choose his fights, he could be. And watch when he goes pro. All right. Watch when he goes pro.
He's attained crazy experience when he makes that next step. He's already been in the fire so many times. He knows what his heart and his body's made of. Yeah. That kid's gonna do something at the pro level.
He's another one. It doesn't matter what he does with his life. Daniel O'Neal is going to be successful. He is going to be successful. He puts himself in uncomfortable situations, and man, he is made of something different. He's part of that generation. There's a few guys in the Gen Z era that I like. Oh, our country is safe with these guys. These guys they're leading the way. I'm happy to see the Chamale and Danny O'Neal fight each other. But I'm happy to see these guys that are challenging themselves and putting themselves out there. The Tim Abdul Shahids, the Bryans, the Sevens. I think Danny O'Neal, it's just like, Val Woodburn didn't have a perfect record when he went pro. Now he's 9-2 or 10-2.
Yeah, he fought everybody in multiple weight classes.
Yeah, tough fights. Took on the challenges. He taught at heavyweight. He fought apple pie at heavyweight, guys.
Yep.
So, you
Crazy
know,
fight.
your amateur career, you should be treating it as a proving grounds to yourself. That's all that matters. Because once you go pro, it's like your high school GPA once you go to college. I've never heard a doctor go, "Oh, I had a 4.0 in high school." No one cares. And so, you know, you should be treating your amateur career as a test to yourself, a proving grounds to yourself. What am I made of? What am I capable of? What do I need to improve? How far can I take this? Because if you're just getting out there to get wins and look cool in front of your family and friends and have a profile picture, that's fine and dandy. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you at all. But don't fool yourself into believing you have what it takes to be in the UFC, because what have you done to prove that to yourself or to anyone else?
Hey, we moved so fast. Ramsey, if Uncle Dana called you tomorrow and they want you to come up there and do production, what are you going to say to him?
Tomorrow?
Better say yes.
Yeah. I'd be like, what? Y'all are taking off Valentine's Day. We have an event, so I can probably cover that after that. Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch threw it out like he'd love to see me matchmaking the UFC. Don't waste your time calling me, boys. I'm Combat Night for life, and when that's gone, I'm chilling on the farm.
Yeah, but if you can make some extra bucks and still do Combat Night, you might as well, bro.
Hey, man, I would rather go to pro wrestling.
Well, there you go. What if Vince McMahon said, "Hey, we need you to come up here and write storylines"?
I would probably block his number because he's not
see,
well loved right now.
Triple H. There you go, Triple H.
I could go do it. I'd be like, all right, Raina, run this Combat Night.
I would be like, I need like 16 weekends a year off to hang out with my family and friends and do what I really love.
I do like
another
that.
thing Mitch was saying about people like fans and stuff saying things. Some of you matchmakers and promoters out there, y'all need to take that advice too. You ain't never been hit in the fucking head and you got an opinion about us and you're out there spitting venomous BS. Like, yo, worry about your OnlyFans subscriptions and keeping the heat on in mom's basement. Y'all need to learn to shut up.
Well, here's the thing though, man, is that it's, and we both know this, is that one, most of these people ain't risking anything and haven't put any real skin in the game, right? So that's the number one thing. Like, if it's not your event, if you are helping someone that's if you're not paying the bills and you're not worried about actual numbers, it's not your event. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are not if you don't have any skin in the game, like whether it's your money, it's your livelihood, whatever it is, like, you're just not, it's It's almost
giving your opinion about all of us and giving opinions about athletes when your biggest enemy of the day is a fucking staircase. You should know your role.
No lies spoken. And but the truth of the matter is though, man, is that I don't hear the UFC talking about one championship. I don't hear the UFC talking about PFL. Dana might get asked questions and respond, but he's not going out of his way to talk about any of those promotions. And he said it best, man. He said it best. He goes, everyone else is just running a charity, which is the truth. They ain't making money.
Yep.
They ain't making moves. They ain't building athletes. And I know Dana was talking about PFL and, the one championship of it all, and the other promotions that are trying to compete within the Bellators. But he's true. He's the truth, man. And it's the same thing. A lot of these guys that are running regional shows, they're running charities. They're running self-hype machines. They want to make themselves look cool and feel good. And that's fine and dandy. That's cool. Like, hey, enjoy it. Like, it's not going to last. And, a lot of these guys have been a part of multiple failing promotions. Like, you cannot attach my name, your name, or Ramsey's name to any failures. You just can't. Cool. I mean, try if you want, but you can't. There's one giant success. And we've done more events than I think I'd say like 90, 98, 99% of organizations out there. We've lasted longer than all these organizations as well. So that speaks for itself. And I told Retro this, everyone sends me videos, like, oh, dude, let's check this out. Oh, did you hear this? The lion does not concern himself with the opinion of a rat. I don't even give you a gazelle. I don't even give you an antelope. I give you a rat. The lion does not care. It's not even registering him. The rat scurries by the lion, and he doesn't even bother himself with eating the rat because it ain't worth it. You rat.
There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, but it's, I think it's in any industry, you're gonna have those things, and MMA is such a small niche industry that they're more you can see them, they're more prevalent and visible in our industry because, like, man, for the most part, like I mean, we really get along with a lot of people, and we do a lot, cross promoting, and like are friends with like the majority of the people here. So when there are some rats on the ship, it's very easy to see them because, like I said, man, we just, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding tastes real good over here.
Yeah, I think with regards to exposure, we're just staying consistent, and the eyeballs will come.
Yeah. And it's funny, even a lot of our haters, like, you're gonna get haters, man. Like, no one successful in life that made it to the top, even as great as Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all these guys have a ton of haters. Do you think they care? They don't care.
No, I've heard it said, like, if you don't have haters, then you're not doing something.
You're not putting yourself out there. Yeah. I get people who hate on my personal videos, like my stuff that I'm doing on my personal account with Instagram and the reels and stuff. And it's like, bro, you're consuming, like, what do you doom scroll all day? You don't even, like, you don't do nothing. Like, you're not creating, you're just consuming. You're a consumer, bro. And I make money. Hate, comment on please tell me in the comments how much you hate me so I can get some monies. Don't just say it in private, brother. Speak up. Say my name out loud and proud.
It's also like they're snitching themselves out because it's like, well, you hate us, or you hate Mitchell, or you shit on our product, but all you got to do is hit that little not interested button, or that little block button, or that little unfollow button. It's not my fault that we're playing in your head and we're living there rent free.
Exactly.
The goalpost is set high. Just get your game up, and then maybe you can have the right to say something to us. But yeah, there's just shit this week that pissed me off. I don't like to acknowledge them because when you're number one, you don't even need to acknowledge number two, in my opinion. But we're also in a sport where it's like, you're going to say some disrespectful shit. You're going to talk about my friends and family, and they're like, well, you don't mix personal and business. Well, I take my business personal, and you're talking about my loved ones. Fuck you. Sign a waiver, or do better. Just do better. Beat us. Compete.
Yeah.
Beat us. You set the new bar.
We retired the Florida MMA Awards because it was a clean sweep in 2019. And if they were to hold them now, it
might as well just be the combat. We need to do that. We need to get the award thing going for us at the end of the year. I think I said it last year and we didn't do it, but I think planning ahead of time, maybe get a little board, a little committee going within Combat Night to set it up and have a little banquet dinner and recognize these fighters and coaches for their hard work and showing some love to the community. Because regardless of how biased and weird and awkward the Florida MMA show was, it was a cool thing for the community. And I hate that it's not here anymore. But yeah, like Ramsey said, it would just be the Combat Night Award show because there's nobody that's even coming close to us in Florida these days. But I know, Richard, I genuinely love it whenever people send me videos and like try to show me that people are talking smack. Because man, I put my nose to the grindstone even harder. Like I just there's something, again, like I'm a psychopath. There's something weird about me, and that's one of those traits of a psychopath. I think is that they want to rent more space in your brain. I want to rent more space in everyone's brain, whether it's good or bad. I want you to think about me before you go to bed at night. I want you to wake up and think about me. I want you to beat your head into a wall thinking about Mitchell Chamale in Combat Night. And if you do that, I'm doing something right. I know I am. I'm doing something right. So the more I can make, the more space I can rent in your head for free, the better. You want to close out with some of these comments? Let's see what people are saying. Oh no. Any good ones?
Brian said for sure number one promotion on the east of the U.S. Well,
Brian.
Who's better on the west?
Yeah, Brian.
Boy?
Who's better on the west, bro? Who's better in the North? Who's better in the South?
Little ass boy.
We're the
you know what I almost called him.
we're the Targaryens out here, man. Shit.
I have to do that on Rumble.
Hey, you know what's fun to me when all these other people talk trash is we'll have a couple days of us doing hilarious videos and memes just to
Yeah.
have fun with each other.
Cameraman of the year gotta be Ernesto. He just came on board. My man becoming
I gotta go with
already.
Prince Valiant. Get that boy the power sword.
Raina, you're not a cameraman. It's a different category.
Yeah, you're a team leader now. No, you got that gig early on. That's why Leo couldn't be a part of the amateur because he turned pro, and he did have 3 wins and 3 big wins, but he was like half pro, half amateur. So it was kind of he was in a weird space for that year. You were in a weird space for 2025.
You like on the management team, so
yeah,
it's a different category.
We'll give you producer of the year.
Yeah, newest.
Yeah, Raina's office now.
Right. She was like, "Hey," it's like, no. Different category.
Now, Brian, I want to say I don't know any promotion on the West Coast. They got the internet just like us, bro. They got the internet just like us. So go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it out loud and proud. Who's the number 1 promotion outside of the UFC? In the US. Go ahead, Brian. Anyways.
Brian said, Raina, you a slave. I mean, there is an exchange of funds, so slave means work for free. Those days are over.
It's more like indentured slave. Get it right. he raised her for 18 years. She owes him.
She owes me.
What do they call the sweatshop employees? You know, they get something, but
get something.
Children.
You get to eat, Raina.
Caden's about to start
clothing.
His indentured servitude. Hopefully, I'm trying to get him more and more.
He's just been playing at it some here recently. There's one event you had him do every single job. I thought that was really cool. Like every job, wiping the mat, maybe held the camera, got on commentary, everything. Give him a chance to see where he's going to settle in.
Yeah, I don't care where he's at. He's going to be somewhere. We in Japan, I kept reminding him, like, you understand this all happened because of combat night, right? You understand? And I just kept driving it home. Like, you want to keep doing stuff like this as you get older, you're gonna have to put in more hours for combat night.
A few years ago, you used to always be like, "What has combat night done for you?" And it's like you could tie any accomplishment in any person's life.
Yeah.
back to its source of combat night.
Yep.
You're welcome.
You met so and so. You met your girl because of combat night. Yep.
I'm gonna give Ashley a shout out as well. She's another high performing office member for 2025.
You see that, folks? That's how you do it.
She office for sure.
Love to the women, you know what I'm saying?
She's also with Cage Side with me in the production.
Yeah,
but she's taken some more of a bigger role on the sponsor side of things. And I'll take this moment to say a shout out to Free Nicotine Pouches. Gets me right.
And don't forget the ABCs of Jiu-Jitsu, brought to you by Retro Grappler.
What else we got here?
Get your book today.
We also got Foxhound Fuel.
Yes.
Appreciate your support.
A little bit of everything around here. Yeah, you know, it's a family business, man. That's why we have so much fun. That's why, you know, we got, you know, when Juan comes and helps out, Juan Santiago in Orlando, he brings
Timekeeper of the year.
For sure. He brings his son, Uriah.
Yeah, Uriah helps out with production.
And then Brandy's at the front. My girl is running everything at the front. She helps out so much on the back end now too. So yeah, it's just like we have a lot of fun because it really is family. Like everyone involved is family. The whole production team is legitimately a family. The whole back end, and you know, it's me, Brandy, running things. As soon as Caden's able to, he'll be helping us out as well. So it's cool to see. You know, I've known Richard before combat night. He became family for me whenever I was supposed to fight, and I did fight in the Tabernacle in Georgia. I remember this man calling me and trying to convince me to pull out of my fight because my mother had passed away and the fight was 2 weeks away. And he's just like, man, you ain't got to do it. I know you got a lot going on. You know, Josh had told him I was back home taking care of my mom in hospice. And I think we became really close at that moment. I told him, I said, I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm a man of my word. Like I said, I'm going to fight on March. I'm going to fight in March. That's what's going to happen. And he wanted me to pull out of that fight, but I was like, nah, bro, this ain't how it's going down. So yeah, I really look at everyone at Combat Night as family. And then those moments where we're setting up or where we're tearing down and we're just cutting up, or we're at the Airbnb, you know, a lot of places might get hotels for everybody. It honestly, now it'd be cheaper to get hotels. At one point it was it was a cheaper thing to get the Airbnb and everyone kind of be together. But now it's like hotels would probably be cheaper.
We might send some of you guys to hotels.
Yeah, that's a sign.
That's a Ramsey, sign. They don't know about that red roof life.
That Jacksonville red roof. That Orlando Ramada.
Nah. We should put everyone through that.
The Cactus Inn in Tallahassee.
You gotta stay 3 events at the Red Roof Inn before you become part of the crew.
Before we give you the address to even come eat at the Airbnb.
Yeah. That's where Brian deserves to be. Brian deserves to be at the Red Roof Inn with his weird.
Yeah, leave my boy alone.
Key losing,
neck slapping, farting.
Spicy booty.
Kids these days. All right. Well, that's it, man. Richard, it was good talking to you. Good seeing you, man. I'm glad you and Mary had a good weekend. Ramsey, I appreciate you coming in the studio and hanging out with me today on camera instead of behind the scene. Rainey back there producing the show. Appreciate you. We love you. Guys, 2026, very excited to bring you guys a lot of new things, continue to grow. And we'll see you guys in Fort Lauderdale this Saturday, and then Tallahassee for the first pro event of the year. Banger of a card, guys. If you've never been in Tallahassee, that is a show to get to.
Pre-show on Friday for the Fort Lauderdale event.
Are you ready for Combat Night?